Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's Brother Uriah. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach, Malak Yahushua, the righteous. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, the uproars, they're out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord, man. Another strong shalom to all of the akwaf in this thing, reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, right? Magnifying the name of the Lord, right? Another strong shalom to the women that are not married as of yet, but building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, being steadfast, on fire, being loving, being submissive, doing everything they can do to magnify the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to the children in this thing that are zealous. They're on fire. They're reverencing their parents, right? They're doing everything they can do to magnify the name of the Lord. You understand? And shalom to all of the nation that's sincerely keeping the commandments. Right? We living in the last days, you understand? Now is not time to drift back in the world, right? To get slothful, to get lackadaisical, right? To be content with the knowledge you know and what you at, you understand? Now it's time for brothers to be kicking it up in the spirit, man. You see all of these prophecies coming to pass? The Lord got all hell breaking loose on the face of this earth, you understand? All hell was breaking loose. And if you're not watching these signs, you're going to get caught out there. So brothers got to be on fire. They got to be steadfast. They got to be enduring. Shalom, okay? They got to be enduring. They got to be doing everything they can do to magnify the name of the Lord. And this is going to be a Monday night fire on regeneration. You know, it's a lot of people in Israel, they say regeneration isn't real. You know, I can cut that. That's not in the scriptures. You know, I don't see that. Well, it's been a lot of talk, man. Right, tonight we about to go in the scriptures. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. We about to in-depthly break down the reincarnations of man. You understand? Beast, right? Kingdoms, right? Empires. All of these different things are in the scriptures, man. And we're gonna kick it off, right? Now I'm gonna kick it off with the book of Ecclesiastes, right? Because you got to give heed to all of these seducing doctrines and spirits. Matter of fact, I'm going to start off with 1 Timothy. Because brothers can't but be believing every wind of doctrine that come your way. It's the book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressively that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits. So it's a lot of seducing spirits out here, man. They saying Yahushua isn't real. You understand? They say the Old Testament only. It's a lot of different doctrines. You got men that are literally saying that the chariots are men in the Bible. You understand? So you got to give heed to all of these seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Men saying reincarnation isn't in the Bible, right? It says seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. So the Lord said, man, all of these things, they're doctrines of devils, man. It's not of the Lord. Hey, the Lord creates delusions. The Lord spins you off in madness and doctrines and philosophies, you understand? It's all of the Lord. It's only a small remnant of men that are really going to obtain, you understand, the truth in these last days. Just because you got fringes on, a beard on your face, don't mean you in this truth. Just because you understand you keep a feast day, don't mean you in this truth. You got to know the Lord's name. You got to know the only true doctrine. You got to be girded up with faith, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And you got to put on the elect in these last days, man. This thing is not a joke, right? So I'm going to kick it off with the book of Ecclesiastes, the first chapter, right? It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, right? And I'm going to start at verse 9. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, right? And I'm going to start at verse 5. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down. So everything is in a cycle. Everything goes in a circle, right? The Lord said, hate not laborer's work. Whatever you put in work, there's a reward. Everything is literally in a cycle. From you waking up, you going to sleep, your hair growing, it gets chopped down, then your hair grows again. You understand? You get sick, then you get healed. Everything is in a just balance and a cycle. It says, and the sun goeth down and hasteth to the place where he arose, and the wind goeth toward the south and turneth about unto the north again, and whirleth about continually. and the wind returneth again according to its circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. So all the rivers, they continuously run into the sea. Everything is in a cycle and a circle. It says what? And to the place whence the rivers come, thither they return. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been is that which shall be. So the Lord said the thing that hath been from old is that which shall be all over again. There's no new baby on the face of this earth. There's no new creature, you understand? There's no new grass. There's no new mountain. There's no island. There's nothing new under the sun. And that's physical. Meaning you can't come and say a new joke. You know what? I got a new joke. You know what I'm saying? Kind of saying this. Hey, sports have been in from the ancient world. Sports, jokes, you understand? Been being deceivers, idolaters, murderers. All of these things are the same spirits coming back on the earth from old. It said the thing that have been is that which shall be. So what is that thing that have been? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10. Because like the Lord said, through precept, I get the understanding. Precept upon precept. It's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10. That which have been is named already. So if it's been, it's already named already. You can't name a beast something new. Can't go into a new map like Esau does and say China, say Iran, say Afghanistan, say Canada. You understand? Say all of these different names. It was already named already. The beast from old Adam already named it. Man, right? Everything has been named already. English is just a bastard language. We've been talking to Lashawan Kodash from old. So there's nothing new that's going to come up on the face of this earth. That which have been is named already, and it is known that it is man. So man has been named already from old in the ancient world. Neither may he content with him that is mightier than he. You understand? Let's go back to Ecclesiastes 1 and verse number 9. That thing that have been is talking about man. You understand? Salakia. Right, Salakia, Satan messing with the, are we back? So that thing that have been is that which shall be. And that thing is talking about man. Proceeding to the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10, man. And that which is done is that which shall be done. All the rape, robbery, murder, oppression, violence, turmoil, wickedness, idolatry, all of those things are coming back on the earth. It said what? And there is no new thing under the sun. Is anything wherever may be said, see, this is new. It have been already of old time, which was before us. So all of the spirits are back on the earth. You got it, King. You got a precept?
This is book of Psalms, chapter 104. Psalm chapter 104 and verse 29. And it reads, Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die. Right. So the Lord hide his face from us. I mean, the Lord is not dealing with us. The Lord we turned our back on the Lord, so the Lord turned his back on us, man. Right. The Lord not gonna be dealing with us. So we go through trouble, we go through captivity, we go through slavery, we go through famines, right? Turmoil, right? We go through captivity. Right. So these things happen when the Lord turns his back on us. I mean, turn his face from us because of our sins. It says, Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die. So we die and return to their dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, because we know scripture said that all spirits go upward according to Ecclesiastes. So when you die, you return back to the dust as you came, and then your spirit go up to the third heaven. It says, Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. And then you come back on the earth. Like the brothers going into that thing being man. So men die, they turn to dust, their body, their flesh turn to dust and ashes. The spirit goes to the third heaven. The Lord renews it and sends them back on the earth.
Come. And we're going to touch on the regenerations of kingdoms. Right in the lesson, we're going to touch on the regenerations of man. We're going to touch on regeneration of grass, you understand, beasts. All of this is in the scriptures, right? And I see it's a scoffer on a comment board, right? And the brother said, Salaki, bear with me. Break down Job 14 and 12, please. Well, you know what? We're going to go to it, man, right? We're not running from no questions, man, right? Because the Lord said defend the gospel. And that's what we're going to do. A lot of brothers' lack of understanding in the scriptures causes them to believe a lot of doctrines and folly, right? So by seducing devils, man, right? And what one thing you got to understand is if you don't understand something, humble yourself and learn. Don't just go into your own understanding and leaning off, right? You're going to be sifted out this thing, man. Let's go to the book of Job.
You want to read it?
Con, you can read it, King.
Con, this is the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 12. So man lieth down and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep.
Right. Now, what do you don't even know what that's going into? Go to the book of Job, chapter 7 and verse 9.
This is the book of Job, chapter 7 and verse 9.
Right.
As the cloud is consumed and vanisheth away, so he that goeth down to the grave shall come up no more.
No, it said it's not going to come up no more. But the Lord also said, you understand, in 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, that we shall raise up in that last day, right? Those dead bodies. So is that a contradiction? No. As the cloud is consumed and vanisheth away. Now, isn't a cloud here and then it vanished, but it also comes back? You understand? That cloud that vanished, it's not like it vanished forever and you never see it again. And there's no more clouds after it vanished. No, it comes back. As the clouds vanish away, so is he that goeth down to the grave shall come up no more. You understand? That's talking about in that lot and that man and that spirit. He's going to come back again on the earth as a newborn baby. That's what that's going into. Now, when you read on from Job 14 and 12, read on from there, King.
Job chapter 14, verse 12. Read from the top.
Come.
So man lieth down and riseth not, till the heavens be no more. They shall not awake, nor be raised out of their sleep. Verse 13. Oh, that thou wouldest hide me in the grave.
So why is Job saying, oh, that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, if he's not going to be back on earth in that day? Why is he saying that? Why did Ezra say, woe unto me, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days, when he was talking about Jacob's trouble? Brothers got to read this in the spirit, man. Job came back on earth. Job's in Babylon right now. That's Job the 10th chapter. That's Job the 16th chapter. Right? We're going to break all of these lies and this misunderstanding of the scriptures, man. Read that again, King.
Job 14 and 13.
Right?
That thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret until thy wrath be past, and thou wouldest appoint me at a set time and remember me. Right,
and Job is talking about all the destruction, right, that's going to be happening on the earth, and thou wouldest hide me in the grave until thy indignation is passed over. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 10, right, and verse 21.
The book of Job, chapter 10, and verse 21. Before I go whence I shall not return.
So Job is saying, I'm going to go whence I shall not return. He's not going to return back from this place that he's going. You know?
Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death.
Now, what's the shadow of death? That's talking about Babylon. It's talking about Babylon the Great, a place of darkness. As you read about in the book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 2, Psalm chapter 23, Job chapter 10, verse 21 on down. This is the valley of the shadow of death, where there's no lightness and where the light is as darkness, as the scriptures talk about. We don't?
A land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death without any order, and where the light is as darkness.
Now, why is Job saying that he's going to go somewhere and he's never going to return? But when you read the book of Job, chapter 42, right, the Lord increased his ladder and his lot. So how is he going somewhere if the Lord increased his children, the Lord increased his cattle, the Lord increased him, the Lord took away Satan, and the Lord replenished him through all the things that he took away from him? So where did Job ever go to this place in a land of darkness as darkness itself if he never left the land of Oz? Somebody got to break that down. Let's go to the book of Job, chapter 16 and verse 16.
Book of Job, chapter 16, verse 16. My face is foul with weeping, and on my eyelids is the shadow of death.
On Job's eyelids is the shadow of death. Meaning what he is seeing is Babylon. From Job chapter 16, verses 9 on down to 22, it's talking about Babylon the Great and him being here in the spirit. Read on.
Verse 17. Not for any injustice is mine hands, also my prayer is pure. O earth, cover not thou my blood, and let my cry have no place.
Right, when was Job ever damn slain and his blood is in the land? That he needs the Lord's on the behalf to cry for all the injustice and wickedness. This is talking about him being back on earth. Oh Lord, cover not thou my blood. Like we read about the book of Genesis 4 and verse 10. When Cain killed Abel, man. And his blood crieth unto him from the third heaven. That's talking about the spirits of the saints. Read on.
Also now, behold, my witness is in heaven, and my record is on high. My friends scorn me, but mine eye poureth out tears unto Yahweh. Oh, that one might plead for a man with Yahweh, as a man pleadeth for his neighbor. When a few years are come, then I shall go the way whence I shall not return.
Now, why does Job keep saying he's not going to return? He's not going to return. Because Job literally went somewhere he never returned from. Are we going to go back and see our homeland? When you read the book, right, of Deuteronomy 28, 68, we're not going to go back to our homeland, man. This is what Job is speaking of, right? Let's go to the book of Job chapter 19 and verse 23.
Book of Job, chapter 19, verse 23. Oh that my word were now written, oh that they were printed in a book. Oh that my word were now written, oh that they were printed in a book, that they were graven with an iron pen and laid in the rock forever.
Right.
For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth.
So Job already knows that Yahweh Shai is coming back with the thousands and thousands of chariots, man. Read on. Read on.
Verse 26. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Yahweh.
What is that talking about? Yet in his flesh is he going to see the Lord. In his flesh, if literally after worms and decay that body. So when you die, it takes about 3 to 4 days for your body to decompose. And when it decomposes, the worms, ashes, all of these things start to decompose your body, and you turn back again to ashes. Right, Ecclesiastes, right, chapter 17 and verse 1. You turn back into dust again. Right, Genesis 2 and 7. And Job is saying he's still going to see the Lord in the flesh because he's going to be back on the earth. There's going to be some men that have not tasted death since their birth. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 9 and verse 1. Right, you can get in there too, King, if you got any precepts. Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 9 and verse 1.
The book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 1. And he said unto them, verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here, which will not taste of death.
Well, what is that talking about? Who is he talking to? He's talking to the disciples. So why is he telling them, and this was over 2,000 years ago, that some of you standing here, you're not going to taste death? But I thought the covenant from old was that everyone shall taste of the death, like you read about in Ecclesiastes, right? What is that going into? How are these men not going to taste of death? Salaki, read on.
Mark 9 and 1. And he said unto them, verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here which shall not taste of death, till they have seen the kingdom of Yahweh come with power.
So it's going to be some men talking about the disciples that's not going to taste death until, right, they see the kingdom of God. So those men are coming right back on the earth, right back on the earth, right back on the earth, fulfilling their lots. The righteous spirits, the prophets, the apostles, the evangelists, the mighty men, the judges, the leaders, the captains, the officers, the generals, all the men in the scriptures, they're coming back on the earth, even the apostles. And these men are not going to taste of death until they see the Lord, because the Lord is going to keep preserving his spirit in every generation until they see him in their last generation. You got it, King.
This is 1 Corinthians 15 and verse. I'll start at 51. 1 Corinthians 15 and 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We should not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Right? So everybody's not going to taste of death like the brother's going into. So we should not all sleep, but we all shall be changed. And you're going to have people that's on the earth that's going to make it through Jacob's trouble. That's going to make it through all the famine, the race wars, the persecution of the saints. They're going to make it through all these things. They're going to literally see the day of the Lord. They're going to see Yahweh Shah crack open the sky with the thousands of heaven and the chariots coming like a whirlwind, and they're going to be beamed up into that cloud, man. And they're still going to be alive when they get there. They're going to barely make it out of that thing. World War III is popping off, and then they get beamed up into the chariots, man. Right, and then hey, like a twinkling of an eye, just like that, they're gonna be changed, man. And then you're gonna have the dead rise up from the grave as well. So like the brother going to, everyone's not tasting of death in this body, in this flesh.
Come on. Let's go to 2 Kings, right, chapter 2 and verse number 9. So for everybody that thinks that in the scriptures is just talking about the resurrection, we're about to go more in depth. You understand? There's no resurrection of America all over again. They're regenerated. These different kingdoms and these different men, and these spirits coming back on the earth is playing upon tables. We're about to bring it out. Bring it out, Ken.
This book is 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 9. And it came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass as they still went on and taught that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
Right. So it just said that Elijah went up into a whirlwind into heaven. So there's no account of Elijah dying. He literally got translated and got beamed up to the third heaven. You understand? You read about that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 4th chapter, right? Chapter 10 and verse down. Right now, let's go to Malachi chapter 4 and verse 4.
Come. This is the book of Malachi chapter 4 and verse 4. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Well, why is it saying I'm going to send you Elijah if Elijah's already up in the third heaven? So Elijah's just going to come back. He's just going to chill up in the third heaven for a dispensation of time, and he's just going to come back and get beamed back down on earth. No, man, the Lord's going to send that spirit, that vessel, that same lot back on the earth as John the Baptist, because he literally never tasted the death. He got beamed up and translated. So the Lord is saying all the way in Malachi, right around 400 BC, Persia-Medo captivity, that he's going to send him all the way back on the earth, man, before the dreadful and coming day of the Lord. Let's go to the book of Matthew, right, chapter 11 and verse number 12.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11 and verse 12. Matthew 11 and 12, and it reads, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence. And
right, the kingdom of heaven is us. And we suffered the violence, getting persecuted, beheaded, slain, destroyed, castrated. Right? Read.
And the violent take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come.
Right? It said, if you will receive it. And a lot of people, they can't receive it, man. It's too deep for them. And regeneration is like the milk of the meat. You understand? It's not even nothing so deep that you can't grasp. It's literally all in the scriptures. And we're going to go through every single account, right, and show you that, man. The Lord said this was he that is for to come. And those spirits, right, literally prophets are back on the earth. There's one spirit, like you read about in Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 4. So there's not just one spirit of the prophet. You understand? There are many spirits. Did not the Lord take Moses' spirit and put it on the 70 elders? Did not Elad and Belad in the book of Numbers, you understand, prophesied it and did not cease, and they were on fire? What happened to these men? You understand? Those are the same spirits of the prophets. Elijah, right? You got Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel. All of those men, they have the spirit of the Lord and they're all prophesied. So why was the Lord have to send his spirit right back on this man if he did not come in the flesh all over again, fulfilling his lot? If all the men and all of the prophets are already back on the earth. But let's go to the book of Matthew, right? Chapter, Salakia, bear with me. 16 and start at 13.
Book of Matthew 16, 13. When Yahweh came to the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked disciples, he asked the disciples, saying, "Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?"
Right. What's the talk of the town? Who do men say that I am? Right.
And they said, "Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elijah, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets."
Now, why are they saying that they think that the Lord is one of the prophets? If this was hundreds of years before the Lord walked the earth, man, why are they confusing the Lord for being Jeremiah, maybe Ezekiel, maybe Daniel, right? Elijah. Why are they mistaking the Lord for being a prophet if they did not understand regeneration? Read on.
Matthew 16 and verse 14. And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, Elias, Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. He said unto them, "But whom say ye that I am?" And Simon Peter answered and said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God."
Right, so the elect are going to be able to discern right from evil, these different doctrines, and the Lord on the earth. Regeneration, the one true doctrine and understanding of the Lord, man. Right? Now jump to Matthew 17 and 10.
Book of Matthew 17, verse 10. And his disciples asked him, saying, "Why then say the scribes that Elijah must first come?" And Yahweh answered and said unto them, "Elijah truly shall first come and restore all things. But
Why is it that this man Elijah must come? He's already been. He already got beamed up all the way in 2 Kings. So how is he coming all over again? You know?
I say unto you that Elijah is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto
How
him."
did they not, Salakia King? How did they not know him? Because when you come back in the spirit, you're in a different vessel. You understand? When you come back all over again through the spirit, you're not going to look the same. Not going to be the same skin complexion. Not going to be the same height. Not going to have the same voice, right? All of these things, you're not going to be able to remember former things or remember your lot, who you were. All you're going to have, right, is the spirit of the Lord all over again in that lot. Read 11 again, Baba Gashaw.
Matthew chapter 17, verse 11. And Yahweh answered and said unto them, "Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them." Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist.
That's plain upon tables. Then the disciples, they understood that when Elijah was for to come, that this was John the Baptist that Elijah already came in. Literally, John the Baptist was Elijah in the scriptures, man. That's the spirits of the prophets subject to the prophets, man. All right, brother, got it.
I got precept. Well, another account. This is 2 Samuel. I believe it's chapter 7. Slovakia. For the first Samuel. With Solomon, I believe it's chapter.
Come on, 2 Samuel 7 and 10.
This is 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 10. 2 Samuel 7 and 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more as before time. And that since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have cursed thee to rest from all thine enemies, also the Lord telleth thee that he will make thee an house. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers. Right, speaking of David, when David sleep, when he get up the ghost, when he dies and goes get buried with his forefathers, it says, and when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. So the Lord said he's gonna set up David's seed after him, and the Lord gonna set up his kingdom, right? So your seed, we know that's talking about your son, right? Or your seed, from your lineage, right? And it says, he shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Right? So you may perceive that this is Solomon, but it said that his kingdom will last forever. We know Solomon's kingdom only lasted 40 years. Right? When you go to let me put a precept in 1 Kings 11. Right? This is First Kings. This is 1 Kings chapter 11, and the last verse 43. Verse 42. 1 Kings 11 and 42. And the time that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. So it says Solomon only reigned 40 years. Solomon ruled for 40 years, and so did his father David. Right? They ruled for 40 years, but the prophecy said that he'll rule forever. His kingdom will be established forever. Because we know through the Spirit, this is speaking of Yahweh Shah. Right? Yahweh Shah kingdom is going to last forever. His kingdom never going to be taken down. There's not going to be any wars, and no nation going to rise up and fight against Yahweh Shah and the saints, and they gotta defend defend cities. That's not gonna happen, right? So Yahweh Shah kingdom is gonna last forever. I'm gonna go back to 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 14, and it reads, I will be his. I'll start at 13. He shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. Right? So Solomon never got chastised with the rod of men or with the stripes of the children of men. Right? Solomon didn't get scorched by the Romans. Solomon didn't get beat down. Nobody rose up against him. Solomon, if I'm not mistaken, his name means the peaceable one, right? You're peaceable. So Solomon had 40 years of rest. He didn't have to go to all these wars like David did. That's why he's built up this house. He had to build a temple because David had too much blood on his hands, right? So Solomon is more so at ease. So he didn't get that, right? We know that Yahweh Shah did that. Yahweh Shah got scourged by the Romans. Yahweh Shah got whipped and spit on, and a purple robe on him with a crown of thorns, man. Right, so we know through the spirit of the prophecy is talking about Yahweh Shah. What you got it, King?
Con. That's right. Brother bringing out the mighty points, man. You got to think about these things. Let's go to Psalm chapter 72, right? In verse number 8. All right, so like the brother is going into, man, Yahweh Shah was Solomon. Literally, he came as Solomon. If brothers don't believe that, if they have no understanding, we're going to break it down in the scriptures. The brother already brought out 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter. Now we're about to go into Psalm chapter 72. It's an in-depth breakdown to let you know that Solomon was Yahweh Shah. You got it.
This is Psalms chapter 72 and verse 8. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea.
All right, let's start at verse 1 real fast.
Psalm 72 and verse 1. Give the king thy judgments. Give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. He shall judge thy people with righteousness, and thy poor with judgment. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy.
Right.
And break
Right.
it.
It says, give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. Who wrote Psalms? David. Who's David's son? Is talking about Solomon. I jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8, Psalm 72 and verse 8. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth.
And now Solomon never ruled the whole earth. You understand? He ruled Israel. He had dominion over Israel. He had infinite knowledge and understanding and wealth, but he never ruled the whole entire planet. Read on.
They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him.
So where's any account of men in the wilderness bowing down to Solomon? Somebody got to pull the account in the scripture. It's not in there, man. Because this is talking about Yahushua in his second wilderness. Men are going to bow before the Lord as he puts crowns on men's heads. You understand? You know?
The kings of Tarshish and of the isles shall bring presents. The kings of Sheba and Seba shall offer gifts.
Right, and that happened in 1 Kings, the 10th chapter. Right, the Lord is going in and out the spirit. Let you know that it's Solomon and it's talking about Yahushua.
Yea, all kings shall fall down before him. All nations shall serve him.
Now, when did all nations serve Solomon? When did everybody bow down and submit themselves unto Solomon? There was peace in Solomon's kingdom. You understand? When did all of the nations just bow down and serve Solomon? We don't.
For he shall deliver the needy when he crieth, the poor also, and him that hath no helper.
Now, what is it that it'll be delivered from if there was peace from all the enemies during the 40-year reign of Solomon? Read on.
He shall redeem their souls from the deceit and violence, and precious shall their blood be in his sight. And he shall live, and to him shall be given of the gold of Sheba. Prayer also shall be made for him continually, and daily shall he be praised.
Now, when is anybody praying in the name of Solomon? What is this talking about? Somebody got to break this down. Somebody got to break this down if this is not going into reincarnation, regeneration, and this is not Yahushua. When did the Lord say pray in any other name? No, let's pray in this forefather's name. Let's pray in this forefather. No, we pray in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua's name, man. Read on.
Verse 16. There shall be a handful of corn in the earth upon the top of the mountains. The fruit thereof shall shake like Lebanon, and they of the city shall flourish like grass of the earth. His name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed.
All nations shall call him blessed. And everybody's going to be blessed in him. That's talking about Yahushua, man. That's the only way you can be redeemed. That's the only way you can have understanding. That's the only way you can have the spirit. That's the only way you're going to come to life. And that's the only name you pray in. You don't pray in any other name. This is going into Yahushua, which was Solomon. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 17, and further break that down. Now, before you go to that, I like to go to this precept first. Because with this precept, if you're saying that Solomon isn't Yahushua, you got to make this make sense. Go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 11. And then we're going to go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 17. And the Lord is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. So whatever the Lord said is true. Then I see what the Lord said.
You said Ecclesiastes
3 and 11.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11. He have made everything beautiful in his time. Also he have set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end.
So the Lord said no man can figure out the work of the Lord from the beginning to the end. No man. No man alive. You can't be like, well, you know what? That's not talking about that. It's talking about Jacob. Jacob only. No, man. The Lord said no man. No man that ever breathed, had understanding, the spirit of life, could ever figure out the works of the Lord from beginning to the end, but yet Solomon knew it. So somebody got to break this down. Why is it just one man that knows all the works of the Lord, that walked the earth? but yet nobody else can. When the Lord said that no man can find out the works that God maketh from the beginning until the end, but yet Solomon knew the beginning to the end. Right, let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 17.
It's a Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made and the operation of the elements.
Right, so Solomon knew how the whole world was made. The matter, the elements, the fire, right? The damn dirt, the wind, the water. How do you create water? How do you create fire, man? Yeah, you might get a stick together, but how the hell does it just combust in its fire? What element is that? You know, you got your damn so-called white man. He got the periodic table, right? He got the X square and the M square. He's scratching his head. He all on the chalkboard. He doing all his A plus B square. Hey, Solomon knew it all, man. He knew how the earth floats upon nothing. You understand? He knew how water was, right? The insects, the beasts, the hair on them. He knew everything. Read on.
The beginning, ending, and the midst of the times.
So why was one man that knows the beginning and the end when the Lord said that no man alive would know the beginning and the end? How was that possible? Right? Shalom.
Shalom.
Bring it up.
Verse 18. The beginning, ending, and the midst of the time. The alteration of the turning of the sun and the season.
Right now, we understand there are seasons, but he knew how they were created, how they fall. You understand? The elements, the temperatures, how long they are, the duration of them. He understood and knew all of those things. Read on.
The circuits of years and the positions of stars.
So Solomon even knew why certain stars were positioned the way they are, man. You may come outside, you scratch your head, you look around, you don't know what the hell is going on. It's a nice night out with the wife. You kind of looking up. Hey, Solomon knew it specifically what that star was, the name of it. And the Lord said in the scriptures, he counts all the stars by name. Every single star has a name, right? It's in the book of Psalms 147. All of the angels have names, and there is a innumerable multitude, right? Everything, right, that you have no understanding in, the deeps, the ocean, the wind, the elements, the fire, all the land masses, the beginning, mist, and end of times. Solomon knew all of that.
Can I read on?
Huh.
It says, the natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts.
You got the so-called white man. He's still trying to figure out all of these different species. You got one frog, then you go on Google, you know, there's 17 species of frogs. And then you kind of go, and then this bump means that. No, it's way more than that, man. You can't uncover the works of the Lord, man. You can't just say, okay, there are 35 birds, there's 17 birds. No, man, the Lord has infinite creatures you've never seen before, man. That's all in the scriptures. I have not seen nor ear have heard. You understand? So all hell could break loose. You got Esau and Google. Don't think he has all of the answers. He knows all of the species. He knows all of the elements. Hey, that's not in there, man. Solomon knew all of these things. Why? Because he was Yahweh, because he created all of them. You know?
The violence of winds and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants and the virtues of roots.
Right, so he knew the diversity of plants, right? Like a so-called Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi would take this mineral, with this plant, right? The Aviado plant, then he kind of mix it with this plant, and then it can kind of heal you, man. Hey, Solomon knew every single different root, every different plant, right? Every species of insect. You may go outside and you be like, well, what is that? I've never seen that before. Kind of lift up a damn rock, right? And do you see something you've never seen before? Solomon can identify all of these different species and what they do and their benefit. You may look at a gnat or mosquito. You may look at this bug and that bug. The Lord didn't create things for no reason. They all serve their purposes. And Solomon knew every single purpose from every different beast to insect, right, to the wind and the elements. You know?
And all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know.
So if Solomon's not Yahushua, then the Lord just said that no man can figure these things out, but yet he knew. So how can you draft in resurrection? Because that's what people love to go to. Every precept is talking about the resurrection, talking about the resurrection. Well, why was this talking about the resurrection? right? He said, everything that is secret or manifest, them I know. So he knew all things through the spirit because he was Yahweh Shah back on the earth. You understand? You got a precept?
La.
Did a brother go into Psalm 72?
Khan. Right? So that's literally Yahweh Shah through the spirit, man. And you can't say otherwise, right? Because you would be going off. You can go to the book of Sirach 14, right? And verse number 17.
Like this is Sirach chapter 14 and verse 17. All flesh waxeth old as a garment, for the covenant from the beginning is thou shalt die the death.
Right? Everybody gets old. Nobody's gonna live in this mortal body and wax for thousands and thousands of years, man. Even our forefathers, they died, you understand? But they fell asleep, like the scriptures say. Whenever you see in the scriptures, when it says fell asleep, that means they're the righteous and they're coming back on earth in the spirit. Whenever you hear in the scriptures, he died or he died the death, meaning he was never in the Lord and that spirit was ordained for destruction. David fell asleep. Solomon fell asleep. Jehoshaphat fell asleep. All the men of the Lord, Stephen fell asleep. All of the men of the Lord, they fell asleep, meaning they didn't really die. You know, they gave up the ghost, but they fell asleep for a dispensation of time to come back on earth. You understand? Because they never really died. Because the covenant from the beginning that they shall die to death, but there'll be some standing here which shall not taste of death until they see the Son of Man coming again. Right? You can read on.
As for the green leaves on a thick tree, some fall and some grow. So is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end, and another is born.
Right, and that is that a different tree? Right? Is that some that leaf kind of go over here, then it jump on that tree? No, it's the same tree, it's the same stock. You're gonna always be a Judite if you're a Judite. You're gonna always be, you understand, a Danite. You're gonna always be an Issacharite. You're gonna always be a Manassite, man. You're gonna always come back in your generation in your lot because you're growing off them same trees, that same stem, and those branches out of different tribes, and the leaves are the men, and that stock is your lineage. And you're gonna always come back, you understand, in that same lot, right? You could rest right there. You can get Numbers chapter 36 and verse 6.
Book of Numbers, chapter 36 and verse 6. This is the thing which the Lord doth command concerning the daughters of Zelophehad, saying, let them marry to whom they think best, only to the family of the tribe of their father should marry.
Read on.
So shall not the inheritance of the children of Israel be moved from tribe to tribe, for every one of the children of Israel shall keep himself to the inheritance of the tribe of his fathers.
Right, now jump to verse 9.
Verse 9. Neither shall the inheritance remove from one tribe to another tribe, but every one of the tribes of the children of Israel shall keep himself to his own inheritance.
Meaning your own inheritance when you come back on the earth is never going to change. You're going to keep yourself to your inheritance, right? That's why literally you come back on the earth as a Judite. You come back on the earth as a Benjamite. You come back on the earth as a Levite because you was a Levite from old. You understand? John the Baptist, right? Levite. All of these men, they're coming back in the same lots, right? So that's literally going into your lot would never be removed from tribe to tribe because you're going to come back on the earth fulfilling your same lot. Right? We can get Psalm chapter 16 and verse 5.
This is book of Psalms, chapter 16 and verse Psalm 16 and verse 5. It reads, the Lord is the portion of mine inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my lot.
Right, thou maintainest my lot. Meaning that same lot that you lived in the ancient world, you're going to live it all over again, man. You can't be a wicked man in a damn ancient world and come back righteous. That's not how this thing goes. It's not, well, you know what, I'm going to be a nigga. I'm going to smoke all the weed up. right? I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna call Rhonda 35 times in a day, right? And think that the next generation, you can kind of get it together. You know, I'll figure this thing out my next generation. That's not how it goes, man. If you're wicked in the ancient world, you're gonna come back wicked now, man. Because you're living the same spirit and the same lot all over again. That's why Daniel says, stand at the end of the days. Right, let me get that in Daniel 12 and 13, I believe.
I already got it pulled.
Oh, that's the spirit.
This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 13. But go thou thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days.
Right. So you're going to stand in your lot at the end of days. So whatever your lot is, that's what you're going to stand in it, man. You got Moses. You think he wanted to be a prophet, right? Hey, man, the Lord jacked up his spirit, Ecclesiastes 8 and 8, and made him be a prophet. Daniel, Ezekiel, hey, Jeremiah, he said, look, I had a burning fire in me, shut up, and I could not stay. He said, oh, Lord, thou hast deceived me, man, paraphrasing. And he just was like, you know, I don't want to do this no more. It's too much going on with this, man. People want to jump me. And they smoked Jeremiah in the face, right? They was locking him up, but he couldn't do nothing about it because the Lord wanted his lot to be a prophet. You got it, Ken.
Yeah, I was going to say, also, remember Jeremiah said, you know, I'm just a child. He wasn't even sure if he could even handle the responsibilities as being a prophet. But the Lord had it ordained. That's why he told him, say not that I'm a child. Like, this is your lot. You're going to do this, man. I had a precept also. This is Revelation chapter 10. When we read Daniel 12, it says that you will stand your lot at the end of the days. This is Revelation chapter 10. I'll get to the point. Verse 10. And it reads, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. So you got to do this thing again, man. It don't stop. If he's a prophet, like we about earlier, the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So if you're the prophets in the ancient world, you're going to prophesy again. Now you in Babylon the Great. Like the scripture in Jeremiah, he's going to raise up prophets in Babylon. Now you're in Babylon the Great, prophesying all over again. You might have been in ancient Babylon prophesying. Now you're in modern day Babylon prophesying. Right? Still shaking a hand, man, at the king of Babylon.
That's right. Right? You can get 1 Corinthians 14 and 32. And for all those that don't understand the resurrection, it's an in-depth breakdown on it. I did a breakdown on the resurrection, right? The mental and physical, in-depthly on the Cold Cuts channel, right? So if brothers don't understand that, or sisters, they could go watch the in-depth breakdown on the resurrection. And there's many right on regeneration. You got it, King.
This is 1 Corinthians 14 and 32. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
Right. So the spirits of those prophets, they're subject to the prophets. Meaning no matter what you do, you can't escape your lot, man. You can't just keep smoking weed all damn day and the Lord wants you to come up out of that, man. No, the Lord is going to jack your spirit up through the spirit because you're a prophet back on the earth. He's going to make you do the work, man. That's the book of Ecclesiastes 8 and 8. Right? You could grab that, King.
Okay. Ecclesiastes 8 and verse 8. And it reads, Ecclesiastes 8 and 8. There is no man that has power over the spirit to retain the spirit. Neither has he power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war. Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it.
Right. So the Lord said he don't have power to retain the spirit. So all of those spirits that are subject to the prophets, they don't have power over their own spirits. The Lord wants you to go shake the hand. You're going to go shake the hand. The Lord wants you out there in madness and wickedness and folly. You're going to be out there in madness, wickedness, and folly, man. The Lord is going to do whatsoever he pleases. You understand? Now, when you go to the book of Ecclesiastes 1 and 15, the Lord has ordained certain men just for destruction. And there's nothing that they can do about it because their lot isn't to be counted with the righteous. You got it.
I got precept. This is Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 10. And it reads, declaring the end from the beginning And from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasures. Brother, going into everything is already preordained, predetermined from the foundation of the earth. Right before the Lord, said, let there be light, it was already planned that would that whoever everybody will be in their lot, basically, man. Everybody will be in their lot. Everybody will have a certain duty to do, whether you fulfill the job or the duty of a prophet, you the job or the duty of a righteous sister, whether you got the duty of a wicked 2/3, man. You're gonna always stay in your lot. It was already predestined. Right? I got another precept. This is Isaiah 42 and verse 9. And it reads, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things I do declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. Right? So that's how we also know the scriptures is true, man, because of the prophecies, man. Right? That's the number one, the main proof that and evidence that we have is the prophecies. So everything is already predetermined. So the Lord had already had it planned, even this Monday Night Fire, man. It was already planned that we'll be doing this on this day at this time. We'll be on a Monday Night Fire. All the people in the live, they'll be watching it, taking notes, getting edified through the Spirit.
That's right. That's right. You know the Isaiah chapter 22 and verse 14. Those souls and those spirits, you understand, that are from the 2/3, they're going to come back again in the kingdom. And this is a precept on that.
This is Isaiah 22 and 14. And it was revealed in mine ears by the Lord of hosts. Surely this iniquity shall not be purged from you till ye die.
So you have to die for your iniquity to be purged. So those men that don't repent, they don't come to the knowledge of truth, they will have to die before all the iniquity of them and their life be purged out so they could be made new again. And the Lord said, and it was revealed in mine ears and by the Lord of hosts, surely this iniquity shall not be purged from you till, keyword till. So everybody's going to be justified, you understand? Right. Now you're going to have the men that are 144,000. They're going to be on fire. They're going to be the elect. They're going to be the 1/3. And then you're going to have those men that their iniquity is not going to be purged from them till that fire cleanses them, till they be destroyed. And they'll have to come back again in the kingdom. Shall not be purged from you till ye die, saith the Lord of hosts. So those men will have to be purged from their sins by death, but they will still be justified and come back in the kingdom right on a lower level. Right? Let's go to the book, right, of Ezekiel. Right? Shalaki, bear with me. Ezekiel chapter 28. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get a. We can get that. I'm gonna say that precept. I'm gonna go to Isaiah. I'm gonna say that one. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 23 and 15.
This is Isaiah chapter 23. You said 18?
15.
Isaiah 23 and 15. And it reads, it said, it's like it. Isaiah 23 and verse 15. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tyre shall be forgotten 70 years.
Right now, Tyre, right, is literally an ancient city. You understand? On the coast. And they're the Africans. Now, Tyre got destroyed by the Babylonians. You can look this up. They already got destroyed. They were a merchant city, moving with a lot of shipment. They had a lot of goods. They had a lot of victuals, right? And they were on top of the dispensation of time. But the Babylonians came and they destroyed them. So it said, Tyre shall be forgotten 70 years. Now, 70 is just a number of completion. Because when you go into the history, after the Babylonian Empire took down the Tyre, you understand they never came back into power. They never came back into power after the Babylonian Empire came and destroyed Tyre. So that 70 has to be spiritual. You understand? And for men that don't know, you have 3, you have 7, you have 10, you have 12, you have 40, you have 1,000. All of these are numbers of completion. And on a lower level, you have 4. You understand? And even 5 and 6 means destruction. So the Lord is dealing with numerology in the scriptures too. You have to do math in the scriptures, numerology, precept upon precept. You have to keep things in context. You have to read it in the spirit. Or you can't just open up the Bible and start reading, man. You have to understand timelines, dates, captivities. You can't just open the Bible and gain your understanding by watching one video or leaning on your own understanding, breaking something down falsely, right? Now, 70 is a spiritual number and it means of completion. Just like the Lord said, forgive your brother 70 times 7. That don't mean you kind of do the math like this nigga got one more check. That's not what that's going into. That's an infinite amount of time, right? 7 is a number of completion, right? You can read 15 again.
Oh, well, I had I had that precept. This is Matthew chapter 18 and verse 21, and it reads, "Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Yahushua saith unto him, I say not until thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. It's like the brother was saying, 7 times 7, just a complete amount of times. Man, you always supposed to forgive your brother, right? You should no point like you said, you got 1 time, 70 times 7. You do the math on the calculator. You always forgive your brother no matter what.
Right. I mean, you do that math.
Right. If he go mess up 491, you kind of tally marking on the wall. If he mess with that, he got one more time. If he mess with that 491, then I'm gonna put him to death. You can't do that.
That's off.
That
would be a false understanding to think that this is literal, man. So when Tyree gets forgotten 70 years, that's a dispensation of time of one king, like the scriptures say. Right? You could read 15 again, King.
Time. It's like it. What verse we was on?
Isaiah 23 and 15.
Let's book of Isaiah chapter 23. Isaiah chapter 23 and verse 15. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tyree shall be forgotten 70 years, according to the days of one king. After the end of 70 years shall Tyree sing as an harlot.
It's saying Tyree's going to come back into power and sing like a harlot. Now, when did Tyree ever come back into power? I need somebody to break this down because it never happened. You understand? They never came back into power. Sing like a harlot means to go out with your witchcraft, your music, your vows, your dancing, your damn cesspool of lies. You understand? Like when you read Sirach chapter 9. Let me bring this out real fast. It's Sirach chapter 9, right? And verse number 3. Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Use not much company of a woman that is a singer. So when she's going to sing like a harlot, that's talking about on a spiritual level. America sings to you. They tell you everything. America's the home of the free, land of the brave. They got damn all type of parades, holidays. You can make it be NFL, basketball, right? You could be a celebrity. They got the movies. They got the social media. They got everything. It's singing to you while piping up and dancing to you. That's what it means, sing like a harlot, right? I'm going to hold that real fast. I'm going to get Isaiah chapter 24 and verse number 8. It says, the mirth of tabrets cease. The noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. So music is a spiritual level. Didn't David play the harp on a deep spiritual level and that spirit flee from Saul? You understand? No Christianity and all of the churches that put a spirit on you. You got your damn grandmother going like this, kind of stomping her damn feet. You got everybody in the stomping their damn knees in, man. Right? You got people playing the damn drums. Right? You got that famous damn beat in Jake Church. Now everybody just started. Hey, that's a demon, man. That's that spiritual damn song demon hopping in everybody's church. You got your grandmother kind of dance. She got a top hat on. She got a big old church hat. The Lord not getting down with that, man. Music is spiritual. You understand? Let me finish this real fast, King. It said, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. So that's going into what? The mirth and dancing is coming down to an end when destruction takes place. You got it.
This is Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 1. And it reads, my son, attend unto my wisdom and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman, and that strange woman are these other doctrines. That strange woman is Christianity, Islam, right? That's that strange woman. Them Egyptology, she's a strange woman, right? Because these different doctrines and these different philosophies can seduce men, just like how a woman can seduce a brother and cause him to go off. That's how the same doctrines are, man. Right? So it says, for the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. Right? So she may talk sweet, man. Christianity may seem sweet. The little doo-doo beat the brothers doing may sound real sweet to grandma. You know, that's their music, man. It may sound real sweet. It may sound real good. You don't want to leave the church after that. You know, then you drive on your home and you listen to all the gospel tracks in the car, and they think that they're in the spirit because the lips of that strange woman are as sweet as a honeycomb, man. It says, for the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. It's going to lead to destruction, man. You following that song? You got two songs. So we got a song on the right-hand side. We singing a song and piping unto the people on the right-hand side, and the Esau and the different philosophy that he push on the people, and his sin. And he got a song on the left-hand side. If you dance to that wicked song, you're going to get put to death, man. I got another precept. This is Matthew chapter 9. This is Matthew chapter, like here. I think it's 11. Matthew chapter 11 and verse 16. Matthew chapter 11, verse 16. And it reads, but whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is likened unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows, and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. So we piping unto the people, right? We're playing that new song, man, right? And to the people, those who have ears to hear, and those who hear the words of Yahweh Bashan Yahushua, they're gonna hear that song, and it's gonna be like the damn. It's gonna be like Tupac is back to him, man. It's gonna be like a beautiful song. When Jake first heard that song and the beat kind of bumping and they nodding their head to it, that's how this truth gonna be. Then next thing you know, you want to get in the studio and start making songs too, man. You want to go on the highways and byways and start preaching. You want to sing, right? You want to be the the next big artist, or you can sing that wicked song and you can lead to destruction. You got it.
There you go. That's why the Lord said when we came up out of Egypt, we sung the song of Moses, man. And in the chariots, we're going to sing the song of Moses, right? The book of Revelation, chapter 15 and verse 3. All right, we can go back to Isaiah.
Okay. Right, so this is Isaiah chapter 23. Start at verse 16. It says, I'll read 15 from top. Isaiah 23 and 15. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tyrese shall be forgotten 70 years, according to the days of one king. After the end of 70 years shall Tyrese sing as an harlot, taking harp, go about the city, thou harlot that has been forgotten. Make sweet melody, sing many songs, that thou mayest be remembered.
And that's all of the witchcraft of America right now. Because America is nothing more than a regeneration of all of these different kingdoms. The Egyptian, the Assyrian, the Persian-Medo, you understand, the Babylonian, the Greek, the Roman, Tyrese, Zidon, all of these different kingdoms. America came all over again, and it's the wickedness of them all because it took on all of these different customs. You understand? That's why I say pipe up and sing that thou mayest be remembered. How can you forget somebody after 70 years? That's not a long time. How can you forget that? It's talking about the whole world needs to remember Tyree. And it's talking about America. We don't?
And it shall come to pass after the end of 70 years that the Lord will visit Tyree, and she shall turn to her hire, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon.
When did Tyree commit fornication with every single kingdom of the earth? When did this happen? When did these merchant ships go throughout the four corners of the earth to commit all type of fornication? They didn't have internet back then. They didn't have phones. They didn't have TV, social media. Now this new so-called generation is filled with all of these different tools, right? And it's a just balance. You have the internet, right, to proclaim the truth, get the truth out there, teach the gospel. Then you also have the internet to do what? Push doctrines, philosophies, witchcraft, right? Sex, violence, turmoil, homosexuality, right? You got the damn what's his name? Damn twerking, man.
Lil Nas.
He gonna get put to death, man. And they pushing that on all our damn children, man. You got gay pride month. You got all of these different things being pushed in America, man. And it's singing and it's piping up that thou mayest be remembered from all of these different captivities and to sing all over again, man. They got the what is it? The man boy lovers. But damn grown men love little boys, man. And it's okay. You got popes having sex with children, getting away with it, man. Right? You got Christianity on the highest level of platform in the whole wide world, man. And the cross being pushed. You have all of this damn witchcraft in this world. And it's all being remembered again through all of these captivities.
I appreciate it. This is Nahum chapter 3. Right? Because like you said, America is a regeneration of all of the different kingdoms. And even Nineveh as well, man. This is Nahum chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 4. Nahum 3 and 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Right, so, through her witchcraft and through all her wickedness and her sin, that's how she subdued this well-favored harlot, this whore. Like you said, she's singing unto the people. Like the brother brought out in Sirach 9, you can't trust you can't be fooled and be simple and trust a singer, man. You gotta watch out for that singer. You watch them old movies. You have like Jake, it'd be like a history piece, and you would have Jake in like some jazz club, and you would have the singer, and she she in her red dress, and she kind of through the music, and he just sitting in the crowd just looking confounded, as if she just simply just singing just to him out of everybody in the crowd. And then next thing you know, he getting, finessed out his money, man. Next thing you know, he giving up all his riches, all his wealth. Hey, that's what you do on a spiritual level. You get on that TV and you just confounded. Next thing you know, you're giving up all your spiritual riches. You didn't forsake your Lord. You didn't forsake the commandments. You didn't forsake your heritage. Why? Because you watching a damn, whatever the harlot sing. You listening to that music, man.
That's right.
One more point. So like it says, in verse 5, it said, behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. So the Lord is going to expose this woman, man. The Lord is going to expose her for all her wickedness. And that's through the Spirit, we lifting up the skirt. Through the Spirit, Yahweh and Yahweh, we exposing her before all, so that everybody can know that this is a harlot. She's not somebody that can be trusted. It's not a good woman. She don't have good intentions, right? She's not a princess, a beautiful daughter of Zion. She's none of those things, man. Right, so we got to expose the woman. That nakedness represents sin when you read Lamentations 1 and 8.
We can get Genesis 14 and 18, right? Because Yahushua has been on the earth right many times over. He's came as an angel in the scriptures, the burning bush, right? He's come literally as Melchizedek. You understand? Jerubbaal, Adam, Isaac, Solomon. These are the generations of Yahushua in the scriptures, man. Whether you can understand it, perceive it, or not, that doesn't change the doctrine and understanding in the word of the Lord, man, the truth. Right? We're going to break it down.
This is Genesis chapter 14 and verse 18. And it reads, and Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High Yahweh.
Right. So before there was even a Levitical priesthood, how was this man a priest? Somebody got to break this down. How was Melchizedek a priest? Well, literally the priesthood to the sons of Aaron. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 1. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 5 and verse 1. Hebrews, the 7th chapter. You understand? All throughout the Bibles, literally, Numbers, the 4th chapter. Numbers, the 8th chapter. The Levitical priesthood to the sons of Aaron. But how was Melchizedek a priesthood? And he brought forth bread, which is spiritual, and wine. And bread represents the body of Yahushua, and wine represents the body and blood of Yahushua. So he's literally the body of Yahushua. And he was a priest of the Most High. Way before there were Israelites on the earth, way before all of these things transpired through the Spirit, Melchizedek, he was the first priest. Now the Lord said, I'm the Alpha and Omega, meaning what? The beginning and the end. So the first man that had a quickening spirit, which was Adam, then you have the last man, Yahushua. You have the first priest, Melchizedek, then you have the last priest, Yahushua. You have the first and the last of everything. He's the first living creature among the children, you understand? He's the only begotten son. He's the everlasting father, like you read about in Isaiah, the 9th chapter, because he begot us through the ministry and the truth and the gospel. He's the quickening spirit that brought us all to life. Now let's go to the book of Psalm chapter 110 and verse 4.
This is Psalms. I got precept King, but this is Psalms chapter 110 and verse 4. And it reads, The Lord have sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek.
Right, so every priesthood, the first beginning of it was Melchizedek. And thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. You understand? And Yahushua is coming in the order of Melchizedek, right? The old Levitical priesthood was done away, the animal sacrifice. But the Melchizedek, the order of Melchizedek from the beginning stands till now. We're under the order of Melchizedek to this very day. The priesthood, the first priesthood. We go read about that in Hebrews, the 7th chapter. That's what you was about to get?
Yeah,
you can break it down. I'll read it.
Okay, Tom.
It's the book of Hebrews. Salaki, bear with me. Chapter 7 and verse 1. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High, God, who met Abraham, returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him.
Salaki. I think I was. But Tom, yeah, so like your brother was going into, we're under the order of Melchizedek. Yahushua did the priesthood was always ultimately with Judah. Because Yahushua is coming from Judah. He's the ultimate priest. He's the high priest. So Melchizedek never had a father, never had a mother, and also didn't die, like we went to earlier. We know Yahushua also didn't die. He overcame death, right? He conquered death. So now Yahushua, the priest forever, under the order of Melchizedek, because he never died. It doesn't get passed on to anybody else. There's no other high priest except for Yahushua. I think I wanted verse. I think it's more than that too.
Most definitely more than that.
I want to say it's like kind of the whole chapter. But see where I want to start. You can start at verse 12.
All right, come on. For the priesthood being changed, there is made of necessity a change also of the law.
Right.
For he of whom these things are spoken pertaineth to another tribe, of which no man giveth attendance at the altar.
Right, because the tribe originally was Levi, right? But now we see that the tribe Yahushua, like when we read verse 14, that our Lord Yahushua sprang out of the tribe of Judah, right? Because the priesthood was always ultimately going to be with Yahushua. Right now, he's the new Levitical priest. We get spiritual sacrifices on the altar now. When we read Hebrews 13 and 15, Yahushua is now that lamb that got slaughtered, that got that lamb without blemish. When we read John 1 and 29 and 1 Peter 1 and 19. So he's the ultimate priest. He's the ultimate sacrifice, right? And us, we're giving, like I said, spiritual sacrifices, which is prayer, fasting, praising the name of the Lord, breaking down the scriptures. We read, like I said, Hebrews 13 and 15 and Hosea 14 and 1 and verse 2. Okay.
You got it. You got it. You read on?
Yeah, Con.
Verse 14. For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. And it is yet far more evident that there, after the similitude of Melchizedek, there ariseth another priest.
Right, and that's Yahushua. So now it's more evident because we're seeing now that the priesthood of Levitical law was only for a certain dispensation of time. It was only a priesthood that was only for, like I said, a certain dispensation of time. But this is a priesthood forever. We're forever under the priesthood of Melchizedek. Yahushua, like I said, he conquered death. I'll read it and keep reading. It says, and it is yet, like in verse 16, who is made not after the law of a carnal commandment, but after the power of an endless life. Like I said, there's no getting passed on to the next one. It's forever. Because Yahweh Shah said he conquered death. For he testified that thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. For there is verily a disannulling of the commandment going before of the weakness and unprofitableness thereof. It's like, here we go. For the law made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by the which we draw nigh unto God. And that better hope is Yahweh Shah. That better hope is that we have the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shah, man. That greater hope is that we don't have to continually give these sacrifices, because now through one man's death, that's our ultimate sacrifice. Him laying down his life, man. So he came up with a better priesthood through Yahweh Shah. So we need Yahweh Shah. If you don't have Yahweh Shah, if you don't believe in Yahweh Shah, if you're just Old Testament only, you don't really have that sacrifice for you, man.
And for the brother that's scoffing on the comment board, saying, how was Yahweh Melchizedek, where Melchizedek was a priest and Yahweh was a high priest, it doesn't add up. But what doesn't add up, brother, is you scoffing and having no understanding and what it is that you're saying. Because before there was even a high priest and a priest, it had to be a priest before there was a high priest, because a high priest would literally mean that there were priests under him when Melchizedek was the first priest. Aaron was a high priest. And after Aaron, literally was what? Eleazar, you understand? And then you would have the sons of Keturah, and then you would have the men that officed in the holy vessels of the tabernacle of witness that did the ministry. And when you go to Numbers, the 18th chapter, if you studied and asked questions humbly, brother, you can read and ask questions on a Q&A instead of embarrassing yourself with no understanding. When you read Numbers, the 18th chapter, it will break it down. Numbers, the 4th chapter. Numbers, the 3rd chapter. Hebrews, the 7th chapter. Hebrews, the 7th chapter. Psalms 111 and 10, man. So like in 110 and verse 4 on down, right? Hebrews, the 14th chapter. All of these is a breakdown, and you have to understand the priesthood, how it's even set up to understand what a high priest is and what a priest is in the first place, brother, right? Let's go to the book of, let's pick up where you left off, King. Let's go to Hebrews 7 and verse 3.
This is Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 3, and it reads, without father, without mother.
Right, so this man had no descent when everybody on the face of the earth had a descent. You were either the sons of God or the daughters of men, you understand? Then you were either the Hebrews, right, or the nations, the heathens. Then you were literally the sons of God, you got the Hebrews, then you have the Israelites. Now, all of this happened after a dispensation of time. So from the very beginning, you had the sons of God and the daughters of men. So literally during that time, right, you would have to be a son of God or a daughter of men, but this man didn't have a descent. He didn't come from the loins of the sons of God. He didn't have a lineage. He never had father nor mother because he's the beginning, you understand? He is Yahweh Shah. Right, read on.
Without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life.
Well, how can this mortal man not have a beginning of days nor an end of life? What man living never died or never was born of the seed of a man, other than Yahweh Shah the righteous? Read on.
Nor end of life, but made like unto the Son of God, abideth a priest continually.
So he's a priest continually, even when Yahweh Shah, because he's coming after the order of Melchizedek, man. Who is this man? He's the king, you understand? And he's a priest, and he's the first. And his offering was bread and wine. And on top of that, Abraham gave a tenth, man. Because when you read the book of Numbers 18 and 21, you have to give a tenth to the Levitical priesthood. And before that was even set up, Abraham was keeping the law because he understood it, man. He understood what was going on. All right, we can rush right there. You got a precept?
Yeah, because in Genesis 14, it say he gave bread and wine. This is John chapter 6 and verse I'll read verse 51. John 6 and 51. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. The Jews thereof strove among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? Then Yahushua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except ye eat of the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. Right? So Yahushua, he's that bread of life, man. You have to eat of Yahushua. Right? Now the Jews were being carnal, so they thought he was talking about literally eating his flesh, right? Literally eating this man, right? But he's speaking of, you gotta follow Yahweh Shah, take on that spirit, man, right? You gotta take on the wisdom, knowledge of Yahweh from Yahweh Shah. You must keep the commandments. You must follow the ways of the Lord and believe and have faith in the Lord, man, right? Because He is that bread of life. So got it.
That's right. That's right. Let's go to the book Genesis chapter 2 and verse 15.
But in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden and dressed it and kept and to keep it.
Right. So Adam is the first man to get the nation in order. You understand? The sons of God. That don't mean he had a garden and he had a big old pitchfork, right? He was sitting down there with the shovel, right? He literally got the whole sons of God, the nation in order through the precepts. You understand? The word of the Lord, right? The commandments, the laws. The laws were from old. They were passed down through word of mouth. You understand? And literally, you would have from the very beginning Adam getting the whole nation in order. Now, when you jump down, right, to verse 18, it says, and the Lord said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought him unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. So Adam named every single living creature on the face of this earth, man. Adam did it. And Yahushua, he literally created everything on the face of this earth. So Yahushua has already named the angels. He's already named the stars. He's already named man, because that which has been is that which will be. You understand? And Adam, from the very beginning, he named every living creature. So when you go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 1, Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 1. Right? In 1 Corinthians, right? You can bring that out for me, King. In 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, so like the 10th chapter. You want mute, King?
God, 1 Corinthians chapter 10.
Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 1 first.
This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10 and verse 1. And it reads, She preserved the firstborn father of the world that was created alone and brought him out of his fall.
Talking about Adam, right? We don't.
And gave him power to rule all nations. All things.
Right. So Adam had power to rule all things, man. Wasn't he the tallest tree in the garden? Nobody could hide him. The chestnut trees were not like his buds. You understand? And he shot forth in the abundance with the understanding, because he was by great waters, like the scriptures say. And it brought him, and literally had the power to rule all things. Who has the power to rule all things? Who knows all things like Solomon? Who took on all of these things? It's talking about Yahushua, man. How do we know that further? You go to 1 Corinthians, right? Chapter 15 and verse number 45.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 45. And it reads, and so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
Right, but just because you have a soul doesn't mean your soul is your spirit and your spirit is your soul. They're two different things. Everybody has a soul, right? That's Ezekiel 18:4. The Lord said, all souls are mine. Even Esau, he has a soul. Esau, he has a spirit. He has the spirit of the wicked, you understand? We have souls and we have spirits, right? Real fast, let me get a quick precept, right? Bear with me. It's the book of 2nd Esdras 6 and verse 37. For my spirit was greatly set on fire, meaning the spirit of the Lord, and my soul was in distress. So you would have a difference between a spirit and a soul. His soul was in distress, but his spirit was on fire. You understand? Right? So when you go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 45, you can read it again.
1 Corinthians 15 and verse 45. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
Right, meaning he was just alive. He just came to substance when the Lord formed him from the dust.
The last Adam was made a quickened spirit.
Right, a quickening spirit. And quicken means to make alive. We're seeing it to Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 1. So the first Adam, before the Lord blew the breath of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding into him, in Genesis 2 and 7, right? He was just a living soul. But after the Lord blew, right, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding into him, right, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 and verse 24 on down, then he became a quickening spirit, meaning he was made alive through the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Read on.
Howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthly. The second,
right, the first man is of the earth, earthly, meaning the Lord just formed him from the dust. He's just a living soul and vessel. Read on.
The first man is of the earth, earthly. The second man is the Lord from heaven.
You can't. That's plain. The first man is earthly, but the second, after the quickening spirit entered into Adam, he was the Lord from heaven. Who's the Lord from heaven other than Yahushua? Who's ascended and descended? Who has done these things other than the Son of Man, man? Because Yahushua was Adam. He was the first man to get the whole world in order. You understand? He was the first priest. He's literally everything that you read about. He was Jerubbaal too. When you read about the scriptures about Jerubbaal, right? Right, you can get Zechariah, the 4th chapter, 4 verse 1.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 4. Zechariah 4 and 1. And the angel that talked with me came again and walked me as a man that is, and waked me as a man that is wakened out of his sleep, and said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and his 7 lamps thereon, and 7 pipes to the 7 lamps which are upon the top thereof.
Right, because in the third heaven, you will literally have everything that's in the heaven symbolic on the earth. You understand? The mercy seat, the Ark of the Covenant, all of these things. You literally will have a menorah in the third heaven, which is the 7 spirits of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which is parabolic on earth. You understand? You will have the bread. You will have everything, the throne. You have the tabernacle of witness in the third heaven, which is coming and entering into before the Lord, before his throne, right? Like you read about in Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 5, right? And the book of Numbers chapter 8 and verse 1 on down. Everything is a similitude, right? But double to that which is back on the earth from the third heaven. And when you read Deuteronomy chapter 9 and verse 9, he showed Moses upon a mount all of the things in the third heaven. Right, you got it. Now you could jump down to verse 6.
This is Zechariah the 4 verse 6. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, grace, grace unto it.
Right, so Jerubbaal is going to bring forth the headstone. Now, Jerubbaal was the first man unto the rebuilding period during the time of Ezra, Nehemiah, Haggai, Zechariah, and all of the men that helped build up the temple, you understand? And he was the first one to lay the first headstone. He was the governor of Judah. He was Yahushua. He was literally the first brick put in on a physical temple, and he's the first foundation laid on a spiritual temple, right? But let's get that he's the headstone. He's a stone. I'm gonna bring this out real fast. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. And did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Yahushua. So that rock, that headstone, that's going into Yahushua. And when you read in the book, right, of Revelation, chapter 5, I'm going to bring this up real fast. Revelation 5. Salakia, bear with me. Okay, my damn pages is missing. Salakia, bear with me. I got to pick up another sword. You can bring that out for me, Ken?
Revelation 5.
5 and 5.
Oh, it's not, yeah. This is Revelation chapter 5 and verse 5. And it reads, and one of the elders saith unto me, weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Yahweh sent forth into all the earth.
I know those 7 spirits are the same as the menorah, you understand, which is a burning fire. Those 7 horns represent strength, and those 7 eyes represents that he sees all things via the angels. But yet Jerubbaal was going to have the same things that Yahushua has in the spirit. When you go back to the book of Zechariah, let's go back to the book of Zechariah, right? Chapter 4, right? In verse, I'm going to start at verse 10.
This is Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 10.
Let's start at 7, Salaki.
Zechariah 4 and 7. Who art thou, O great mountain, before Zerubbabel? Thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shouting, crying, grace, grace unto it. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His hands shall also finish it.
Right, he laid the first foundation on a physical level, and he's going to finish it, right, the spiritual temple, because you would have literally 3 abominations of desolation set up, right? And the third one would be the destruction of the saints, us being that temple that got destroyed, that got built up in the last days. We're getting built up. Lord willing, I'm a stone. Lord willing, the brothers are stone. Jeremiah, Lord willing, you a stone. Lord willing, everybody's coming and building up the spiritual temple laid on a chief cornerstone, Yahushua, and everybody's being built unto it, right? When you read Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 20, you got the apostles, you got the prophets, you got the mighty men and judges. Everybody's coming together and rebuilding up the temple. And Yahushua has founded it, you understand, on a spiritual level, because he literally brought you into this truth. He's a quickening spirit. Just like Jerubbaal, he laid down the first headstone, right? Read on.
It says, his hand shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto you.
Right.
For who hath despised the day of small things? For they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7. They are the eyes of the Lord which run to and fro throughout the whole earth.
Those are the same 7 that Yahushua has in the book of Revelation, the 5th chapter. So Jerubbaal has 7 eyes, but yet Yahushua has 7 eyes. 7 is a number of completion. So on a deeper level, it's saying that literally Jerubbaal, Yahushua, is coming up with the same attributes. He's the headstone. He's the first one to lay the foundation. He comes from the tribe of Judah. We read early on in the lesson, right in the book of Numbers, chapter 36 and verse 7, and chiefly 9, that your tribe doesn't switch. So every single regeneration, right, of Yahushua or a man in the scriptures will fulfill his same lot and tribe, like Elijah and John the Baptist. You understand, like Jerubbaal, right, like Solomon, like all the men of old. Right, you got it, Ken.
This is the book of Haggai, chapter 2 and verse 20. Haggai 2 and 20, and it reads, and again the word of the Lord came unto Haggai in the 24th day of the month, saying, speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake the heavens and the earth, and I will overthrow the thrones of kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heavens, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them, and the horses and the riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother. And that day, said the Lord of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shealtiel, saith the Lord, and will make thee as a signet for I have chosen thee, said the Lord of hosts. So how is the Lord going to take Zerubbabel in the last days, during the destruction? Like also the brother says from the tribe of Judah. And he says he's going to shake the heavens. Yahweh Shah is going to do those things, man. Right? So we know through the spirit, Zerubbabel is Yahweh Shah back on the earth. Even going into when you go to Revelation 11, right? On the, on a deeper level.
All right, you can get Zechariah 3 and verse number 8. So the word branch in the scriptures is going into Yahushua.
Right.
Read about that in Jeremiah 23. Read about that in Zechariah, the 3rd chapter. Zechariah, the 6th chapter. The word branch is going into Yahushua. Isaiah, the 11th chapter.
This is Zechariah 3 and verse 8. Hear now, O Joshua the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. For behold, I will bring forth my servant the branch. For behold, the stone that I have laid before Joshua.
That stone that has been laid is talking about Jerubbaal and Yahushua. Because he's that stone. We just got the precept in Zechariah, the 4th chapter. He's that first stone being laid. And the Lord is going to lay a stone next to Joshua, the high priest, like the brother was going into in the book of Revelation, right? The 11th chapter, the two witnesses, right? You have the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, Moses and Elijah, and Joshua, the high priest, and Jerubbaal, right? We don't.
And says, for behold, the stone that I have laid before Joshua, upon the stone shall be 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave the graving thereof, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will remove the iniquity of the land in one day.
Right, so that stone, which was Zerubbabel, he's going to have 7 eyes, which are the 7 eyes of the angels that see all things. Right, so on a deeper level, that branch that he's going to lay is talking about Zerubbabel and it's talking about Yahushua. But let's get the book of Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 12 to further explain that.
This is Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 12. And speak unto him, saying, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, behold, the man whose name is the branch, and he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of the Lord.
So who built the temple of the Lord first? Zerubbabel. Literally, he laid down the first foundation of the temple in the rebuilding period. But the Lord said, and speak unto him, saying, thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, behold, the man whose name is the branch, and the branch in the scriptures is going into Yahushua, and he shall grow up out of his place, and he shall build the temple of the Lord. So Yahushua didn't come down on a physical level, right? He kind of put a mitre on, then he started doing the work. That didn't happen, man. The men of the Lord did it. But Zerubbabel laid down the first foundation, but also on a deeper level, he's the first foundation, Yahushua, on a spiritual level, and he's going to help rebuild it in the latter days. Right?
I precept. This is 1 Peter chapter 2. I love you. This is 1 Peter chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse this is 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. And it reads, to whom concerning as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of God and precious. Right, so that's why Yahweh Shah, he's that living stone that was disallowed by men, but was chosen by the Most High. It says, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahweh by Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Wherefore, also it is contained the scriptures, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. So Yahweh Shah is that chief cornerstone. And it's said as it is said when you go to I believe that's Isaiah 28. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 16. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 16. Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a trod stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. And that's Yahweh Shah. He's the foundation, right? He's our, just like the scripture say in Proverbs 9:1, that wisdom buildeth her house upon 7 pillars. Because you got to have a strong foundation. Yahweh Shah is our foundation. Yahweh Shah is our 7 pillars. Right? So without Yahweh Shah, we'll be nothing. We'll be dead, man. We'll literally be dead right now. We'll be nothing without Yahweh Shah. He set the foundation, like the brother quoted earlier in Ephesians 2:20. Upon that foundation is built the prophets, the apostles, the prophets, wise men, the man of the Lord.
That's right. That's right. All right, we can get John chapter 9 and verse 1.
Come.
Also, reincarnation, regeneration in the scriptures, man. You can't make this up. Why are all of these accounts in here? Why are these men coming back on the earth and it's saying it plain upon tables in the scriptures, man? Bring it out, Ken.
This is the book of John, chapter 9, verse 1. And as Yahweh Shah passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth.
And this man was blind from his birth, right? So-called, he didn't do anything. He just kind of came out the womb kicking and screaming. He couldn't see it then. Read.
And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?
So how can this man have sinned if he was in the womb? And sin is to transgress the law. So what did he do in the womb that was breaking the law? If he couldn't even breathe, he was subject to the umbilical cord. He couldn't eat unclean foods. He couldn't do anything for himself. And we know through the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18 and 21, that the son should not bear the iniquity of the father. You understand? So that mother could have been wicked, but that soul still had a righteous chance. So what did this soul do that he so-called sinned in his mother's womb, man? Because we've literally been here before. Whatever you're doing right now, you're fulfilling a lot from old. Right, you can read on.
Verse 3, Yahweh Shah answered, neither had this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of God shall be made manifest in him.
Right, so the Lord is saying, look, this man didn't sin, even though he was born blind or anything, but that the works of Yahweh Shah may be glorified, man. And the Lord will raise you from the damn dead, man, mentally, physically, right? The Lord will heal your ailments just to magnify his name. And the Lord will have you catching all hell like Job just to consider how sweet you had it and to turn you up in the temperature through the spirit 24/7. It's been times where brothers, they wax and they like, you know what? I'm not who I used to be in the spirit. My spirit is kind of getting, I could feel it flickering. That's the Lord chastising you, telling you to turn this thing up, huh? Right? So it don't always have to be something that you did. The Lord just needs his name to be magnified. The Lord raised up all of these different empires, these different heathens and kings, just to destroy him, to magnify his name, man. So I need somebody to break this down. Why literally is this man born blind and he didn't do anything, right? He did not sin, but that the works of Yahweh Shah must be justified. Let's go to 1 John 1 and 1.
First John. Book of 1 John chapter 1 and verse 1. Like it. 1 John chapter 1 and verse 1. That which is from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled, of the word of life.
Right, it said that which was from the beginning, which we have heard. Who's heard stuff from the beginning? Did anybody hear Moses talking to Aaron? Did anybody hear what Adam was telling his men under him? Did anybody hear Eve get deceived? Did anybody see or hear, right, damn Joshua, man, telling the men to get a military format, right? Joshua, the 8th chapter. Or did anybody see or hear, right, how we was crawling up from the holes of the damn rocks and damn camouflage, right, in 1 Samuel? Did anybody hear these things? Yes, we did through the spirit because we were there. We were from the beginning. We already walk with Yahweh Shah because the spirits already bear witness to this very day. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen. Did anybody see how tall Moses' damn staff was? Did anybody see Abraham give him on Melchizedek the 10th? Right? Did anybody see these things? We don't remember it. You understand? Because we don't remember our past life. But yes, we seen it, and yes, we did hear it. That's why the first time you heard Yahweh, first time you heard Israelite, the first time you heard Hebrew, the first time you heard slavery, the first time you heard Deuteronomy 28, the first time you heard about the Apocrypha, the first time you heard the truth, you was like, what? For real? What's that going into? You were curious because your spirit kind of from old gravitated and knew it. You know, you're trying to break down geography and class, you're trying to break down chemistry, you're kind of sitting there like, because you know, that's not, your spirit not with that, man. Your spirit is with Yahweh Shai. Like it says that virgins, they shall chase thee, paraphrasing, and Song of Solomon, man, 1 and 3 on down. Right? Comely, and they smell the frankincense and myrrh, and the virgins, they chasing Yahweh Shai, man. So when you smell that frankincense and myrrh, when you hear that spiritual song, when you understand and see the Lord, which is his body, these scriptures, you're going to follow him whatsoever he goeth. It said that which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon. And nobody's looked upon things from the beginning on a physical level. We were there through the spirit in a regeneration. And our hands have handled the word of life. How can your hands have handled the word of life? When you was just a nigga 8 months ago. You was just a nigga smoking weed 3 years ago. You was just a harlot 8 months ago. You was just in Christianity last week. The Lord, through his mercy, brought you into this truth. So how did you hear things from the very beginning? Because you walk with the Lord from the very beginning, because your spirits have bear witness all the way from the times of old. You got a precept?
Come. This is second Ezra chapter 14 and verse 35. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. Right? Just like I brought out earlier in the book of Psalms. It says, for after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. And so we're gonna all live again, man. Right? Everybody has lived before. From Esau, right, to Ishmael, everybody on earth have already lived before, and they continue to be in there a lot, man. Right? To the people who wanted Yahweh Shah put to death, right? They here now, man. Right? People wanting Yahweh Shah put to death, they're here now fulfilling their lot. And they scoffing. You see them on the damn video scoffing against men of the Lord, man. Because they fulfilling their lot. People that said we want his blood upon us and our children, they here now, man. You know, all to the people that help Yahweh Shah carry his cross, hey, they're here as well, man. Right? The people that Yahweh Shah fed, they here. All these people are still here back on the earth again, man.
And to touch on what the brother said, that's a lot of these men that's Old Testament only, is a lot of these Sadducees back on the earth. Because they don't believe in the spiritual things. They don't believe in the angels. You got some camps, they don't believe in angels, man. How you don't believe in the angels, and you could plainly see in the scriptures it's talking about the angels. Literally was with Yahweh Shai in the resurrection. The angels literally followed us and fought with us in battles, in war. The angels excel in strength. What are these things? How do you not believe? The Sadducees, they don't believe in anything spiritual. The spirits, the angels, the resurrection, they only believe in things which they can see, which is the law. So a lot of these spirits that know the law, they know the breakdowns, right? They got the damn fringes, right? They got the mitris, they got the chauffeurs, they got the Hebrew starter kit. But these men, they never knew the Lord. They never walked with him. Those them same spirits that try to confound Yahweh Shai is them same spirits that's bucking up against the New Testament, where Yahweh Shai is the embodiment of the whole Bible. And to touch on what the brother said in Psalm chapter 69, right? And it started at 25, King Baba Gashar. Right? Psalm 69 and 25. So these men, these Sadducees, these high priests, these elders, these scribes, these men that bucked up against the Lord, they're back on the earth and they're going to get destroyed. And the Lord said, no matter their lot coming back, let their names be blotted out of the book of life. They would never have a chance. Like I said earlier on in the lesson, that which is crooked cannot be made straight. That which is one, it cannot be numbered, right? And the Lord is saying that which is crooked from the beginning can't be made straight. Esau's a crooked serpent. He can never be made straight, no matter how much damn charity he does, how many times he hold the door for you, how many times he bows. It don't matter, man. He's crooked. Thus saith the Lord. And these men ordained, so like the Lord ordained these men, right, to have crooked spirits from the very beginning and not bear witness to Yahushua. You got it.
You said Psalm 60.
69 and 25.
This is Psalm chapter 69 and verse 25. Let their habitation be desolate, and let none dwell in their tents. For they persecute him who thou hast smitten, and they talk to the grief, to the grief of those whom thou hast wounded.
Let's talk about the wicked chief priests, scribes, and elders that delivered up Yahushua to be put to death, and Judas Iscariot. We don't
add iniquity unto their iniquity, and let them not come into thy righteousness.
It said, let them not come into thy righteousness. No matter what you do, how you plead, how you beg, how you scream, if the Lord didn't choose you, he didn't choose you, man. You got a lot of men that walk with Paul that fell out this thing. A lot of men that walk with Paul that turned their face and they went back to Thessalonica, the church without faith, that they had to build up their faith, that had to work upon, was the whole reason that Paul went to the church in the first place, man. And they went back to that same place. So these men, it said, let Salaki add iniquity unto their iniquity, and let them not come into thy righteousness. Read on.
Let them be blotted out of the book of the living, and not be written with the righteous.
And that's plain, man. So no matter how many times you come back on earth, if the Lord didn't choose you to walk with him from the very beginning through the Spirit, right, you're not going to walk with him on a lot of days in the earth. So it should be a faith booster. You should be zealous. You should be on fire that you know this truth, because you knew it in the ancient world. You knew it back then. You may be the elect, man. Who knows? On a deeper level, you could be the elect, man. The elect doesn't have to have infinite knowledge and wisdom. They're all the teachers. The Lord said the meek shall inherit the earth. The meekest, loving, humblest brothers that fulfill the law, statutes, and commandments, have the faith of Yahweh unto death, right, and love the nation and their brother as unto the Lord, those men will be justified. You got it, King.
This is the book of Jude and verse 5. And it reads, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterwards destroyed them that believed not. So like a brother going to, we once knew this, man. In the spirit, we once knew this. Like you brought out, I believe in 1 John. Hey, we've seen these things before, man. We heard of these things before. Like I said, the man who didn't believe in Yahweh, now they coming back in their lot. We believe, hey, you got men in the truth, so-called in the truth, who don't believe in miracles. They don't believe that Yahweh Shah did miracles. We've seen the miracles. We knew this before. We've seen the miracles. We heard of the miracles, and we believe. And now we come back in our lot, still believing in these miracles. And just like in the ancient world, I'm pretty sure they heard about men, the scoffers, and the men who said that he didn't really do those miracles. And we hearing about it all over again, man. So they was out there, didn't believe in miracles. Now they still don't believe, man. Right? They didn't believe in the works of Yahweh Shah, and they still don't believe in the works of Yahweh Shah.
That's right. And when you go to Revelation 17 and 8, it deals with regeneration all over again with different kingdoms. Like we touched on with Tyre and Zidon, right? Right. You could get Revelation 17 and verse 8.
This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not.
Right. The beast that thou sawest was. Now, during the time of John is the Roman Empire. So that beast is talking about Rome. That beast that thou sawest, right, was and is not, because it came out of power.
That's like it. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
Right. That bottomless pit is Europe. You understand? A landmass. And when you read the book of Revelation chapter 9 and verse 1, it's going into pits. A pit is a landmass in the scriptures. It's not talking about hell. It's not talking about this beast. Isn't Jumanji not going to happen in the latter days of the earth, man? You got to read the Bible with the spirit. Can't read 7 heads, 10 horns, kind of putting it together, typing it in Google, monsters. You kind of putting these things together, you kind of getting prepared. You buying swords and shields. That's not what's going to happen on the latter days of the earth, man. It's not Jumanji. Stop thinking the Bible, everything that you read in the Bible is literal, man. The Lord speaks in a lot of similitudes, metaphors, and allegories, right? You got it.
I got a precept
Come.
on the bottomless pit. Second Esdras 5 and verse 24. And it reads, and of all lands, right, this is one of Most High's favorites. It says, right, verse 24, and of all lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. Right, so like the brother said, a pit represent landmass. Right, so it's not always speaking about just some fiery place underground where people burn forever in a burning pit. Speaking of the land, right, in that one pit, when we read 2 Esdras 5, it's about Jerusalem, Israel.
Right. Come. You can go back to it, Cam.
This Revelation 17 and 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition.
Right, meaning destruction.
Right. It says, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world.
Right, they're gonna wonder because they don't know what the hell is going on. The saints know what's going on through the spirit of Yahweh. A lot of men are gonna be wondering, what is a beast? He was, then wasn't, maybe he disappeared. Then he came back. Then his beast, he got horns, and then it's gonna be, let me see, 7 angels. They don't know what the hell is going on, man. I asked Esau, what's the 7th angel? And she said, damn, Lucifer, man. So she don't know what the hell is going on, man. Yeah, she said she was a prophet. I said, well, what's the 7th angel? And we'll believe you. She said, what's going into Lucifer? So these people, they marked, man. They don't have no understanding. And all of these different nations, and even the 2/3, they're going to wonder on the face of the earth because the Lord never chose them. Through the spirit, humbly speaking, everybody on here knew this from old, man. That's a beautiful feeling that you knew this, even from the Roman Empire, even from all of these different times and these different kingdoms. We bear witness to Yahweh, man. Right, I'm going to read the rest of it, Ken. It said, and they dwelt on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, meaning the Roman Empire, and is not because it came out of power, and yet is because it's America to this very day. So the Roman Empire came back as America. Read about that in 1 Maccabees, the 8th chapter, verse 15 on down. Going into their Senate houses, right? And their governments, right? And they literally have the same attributes and they have the same spirit that America is. Why do you go all the way down to DC and you look and their actual puncture and their structure and they have Roman pillars? You telling me with all of this money the government has, all of this architectural science, all of this damn computers, all of these buildings and things are slanted. You got TVs and bread in the wall. You got all these different things that you telling me in America, the richest place on earth, that you're making old pillars to emblem Rome. It's telling you all in the spirit that this is Rome all over again, man. Babylonian Empire had the same pencil, right? All of these things are all over again, and the Lord is showing you visually, he's showing you spiritually, and he's showing you mentally by the same destruction that happened from old, and it's happening all over again. You got it.
This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. And it reads, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose daily wound was healed. Right, and that's talking about, like brother, going into America being wrong. It says he exercises he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, because beast represents different kingdoms. You can't say it's a beast and he liked it, the other beast. It's not literal. So this beast, America, he's exercising all the power of the first beast. So just how the first beast was set up, hey, just how the first beast fell, just how the first beast had a senate and all that. Hey, this beast has the same thing, man. Because like you said, even to the architecture, the buildings, how everything is set up, this is Rome all over again. You worshiping the beast before him. You're worshiping Rome. When you get down with America, you're getting down with Rome, because this is Rome. This is Egypt. This is everything. Rome, Egypt, Nineveh, Babylon, Assyrians. right? This is the whole nine, like they say, man.
Yeah, right, it's right. Right, you can get the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter. And Cain and Abel was Jacob and Esau, man. You know, a lot of people, they like, I don't know about that one. You know, regeneration, it's a touchy subject. You know, it make my skin curl. Well, brother, pray, man. Humble yourself down and ask the Lord to reveal things unto you that you may not know. You may not know certain things, but if you pray through the Spirit of the Lord, He may open your eyes to reveal you things that you never knew. When I came into this truth, I didn't even know what regeneration was. I was just trying to figure things out. You may be new to this thing, may not understand, it may be confusing, right? It may be too deep. You said, well, the Lord was Solomon. He did this, and we have Q&As all throughout the week. Me and brothers do Q&As. We have literally an email, Watching for Israel. You can ask questions. All of the mighty brothers, you understand? All of the brothers, they have their own personal accounts on social media. You can ask questions. You can hit up the Watchman for Israel, right? IG, Facebook, right? Twitter. You can ask all of these questions. And chiefly, like I said, you could prescribe for more breakdowns. And when Q&As transpire, brothers can go into these things. But we can go into Genesis chapter 4, and I'm gonna we can start at verse 1. You on mute, Ken.
This is Genesis 4 and verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
Right.
And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
That was said, and Adam knew Eve, right? Meaning they laid down, his wife, and she conceived and bared Cain. So here you have the wicked being born first. Just like the first came out, what? Red and hairy all over. So you have Cain coming out first, just like Esau came out first. Genesis 25 and 25, right? And it says, and she bared his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, just like David. David was a herdsman because he's a shepherd on a deeper level, right? You got wicked shepherds, you got righteous shepherds. You got the wicked shepherds, the book of Micah, the 3rd chapter, Ezekiel 34, and all of these wicked men that feed religion, lies, and they try to get money from you. They're the wicked shepherds that lead the flock astray. That good shepherd, right? John 10 and 11, Yahushua, he's going to lead you to everlasting life. He's going to lead you right to the living waters. You understand? It says, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So even in the spirit, he's not bringing forth anything. He's already in the dust from the very beginning. He's tilling the ground. He's bringing forth nothing. He's literally having no type of fruit or increase. He's already in the dust from the beginning of time. And from the end, his latter end is he's going to come down and sit in the dust in Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1 on down. Right, you got it. You on mute, Ken.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
And isn't Jacob the keeper of the sheep on a deeper level? Jacob is the sheep. We are the sheep of the Lord's pasture. Literally, Israel is. Right? Let's get some precepts, man. So for brothers that read the Bible like it's a novel, read it like an old crusty white man with stringy dog hair and, not the speak, you're going to get spent around. Everything is double to that which is in the scriptures, man. Like the brother said, man, it's all spiritual, man. It's literally spiritual, right? We can get to, I'm going to get Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away from my mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. So all of the shepherds, right, literally cause all of the sheep, meaning the nation, to go astray. But Cain, right, literally set in the dust until the ground from the very beginning, while Abel on a spiritual level, he kept the sheep. Right? You got it.
This is the book of John, chapter 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door enter It's like he that entereth, verily, verily I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. I'm gonna jump down to. I'm gonna just keep reading. It says, and a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. This parable spake Yahushua to them, but they understood not what things which were. It's like they understood not which things they were which he spake unto them. Then said Yahushua to them again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. Right? So Yahushua is that door. We're the sheep. He's the door and he's the shepherd. You have to go through Yahushua to even to get to the Most High God. You have to go through Yahushua and get go through the Yahushua to get to the kingdom of heaven. When you jump down, it says verse 14, John 10 and 14. I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and I am known of mine. Right? So Yahushua is that shepherd, man. Right? Like the scripture also says, Yahushua is knocking at the door, man.
That's right. Right, we can go back to Genesis 4 and verse 3.
Like in that spirit, because the Lord told Cain that sin waiteth at the door. So the choice is yours. You can either open the door to Yahushua, you can go to the back door with sin, which is gonna lead to death. Right? But it's Genesis chapter 4 and verse 3. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
Right, so this literally was Adam's son. So you telling me Adam was getting the whole nation in order, but yet his son didn't know the commandments? Man, Cain knew the commandments, man. His whole household knew the commandments. He was the son of God, you understand? That was Adam. So you could best believe that Cain knew the commandments. But Cain didn't have respect unto the Lord. When did the Lord say, give me a bunch of fruit, give me your tomatoes, your apples, and you just burn them on the altar? Right? And I just will smell it as a sweet savor. The Lord never said that, man. So that's disrespectful to even bring forth a wicked, abominable offering unto the Lord, man. Who treadeth my altars? Who are you to come before the Lord to even bring forth an offering? That's even grace and mercy in itself to be able to be forgiven. But yet Cain is and Abel, Salakia. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Cain. Cain, you could get Sirach 34 and 18. Because the Lord never said to bring forth fruit upon the altar, man. So that was a wicked sacrifice from the very beginning.
This is Sirach chapter 34 and verse 18. He that sacrifices of a thing wrongfully gotten, his offering is ridiculous.
And the Lord said his offering is ridiculous, man. It's a ridiculous offering. You putting a damn banana up there, damn tomato, right? You reaching in the back and looking for the grapes. What the hell are you doing, man? When did the Lord say to do that? It's just ridiculous. Read.
And it reads, his offering is ridiculous, and the gifts of unjust men are not accepted.
And who's more unjust than Cain?
Right.
Which is Esau. And it's not accepted. No matter how much fruit, no matter how many damn bananas, he could shake a damn banana tree on the brazen altar. That's not going to do anything for the Lord, man. You understand? It says, I'm going to read on from there. The Most High is not pleased with the offering of the wicked. So the wicked can do offerings all day long, you understand, but it's not going to be accepted in the eyes of the Lord. It says, neither is he pacified for sin by the multitude of sacrifices. So he can offer 1,000 sacrifices and it still wouldn't be justified in the eyes of the Lord. And on a deeper level, it was impossible for Cain to offer a just sacrifice because he never had it. It was never given unto him. Cain was given the sheep. He had the sheep to be able to offer it. But Abel had the sheep that he was able to offer it. Cain, He never had it in the beginning. Just like the Lord said, literally in a classic, the book of Psalms, chapter 147 and 19, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. So no other nation knows the precepts, the understanding, the prophecy, the breakdowns, the laws, the ordinances, the customs. You understand? All of those things are only given to Israel. So Cain, from the very beginning, never had sheep even to be able to offer up. It was only who? Abel that had it from the very beginning. Right? You got a precept? Or we can go back to it if you don't.
This kind of Second Esdras chapter 3 and verse I'll just read verse 36. Second Esdras 3 and 36. Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathens. Hey, to the spirit, he's a heathen, man. You know, so he's a damn heathen. You know, if you have ears to hear, he's a heathen. So he don't in the precepts of the commandments, he don't keep the commandments. And we know, like you said, Adam getting the nation in order, he had to be getting the household in order, right? When you read so I can get this. It's Genesis chapter 35 and verse 2. It reads, Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean and change your garments. Right? So men taught the household, right? Even before the law was technically established, we've been had the law, right? Through you know, it was given orally, right? Because men taught their households, man. So that's how Noah knew the unclean foods, right? That's how the Lord knew that Sodom and Gomorrah, they knew that they were in sin before Moses even came with the law, because it was told to them. The people knew, you know, but you know, he gave up a damn ridiculous offering.
Oh, ridiculous. Let's go back to Genesis.
This is Genesis chapter 4 and verse 3 from the top. Genesis 4 and 3. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground of an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. Okay. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shall not thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
Right, and sin rules over the so-called white man. That's all in the scriptures, you understand? Psalms 109 and verse 6 and 7 on down lets you know that Satan stands at his right hand. Right? Now let's jump to verse. You know, I want to eat this whole road. It's an in-depth breakdown. Why can't I get to the point? He's a murderer from the beginning, and a boat of not in the truth. What's the first murder recorded in the Bible? Cain literally killing Abel. That's in the scriptures. He was a murderer from the beginning and a boat of not in the truth, man. Right? Let's just jump to verse 12.
This is Genesis chapter 4 and verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee.
Right, because he was given to dust and ashes, and he's going to sit upon a low estate.
Henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth.
And that's what Esau is, man. He ain't nothing but a fugitive. He's on the run. Nobody has caught this man. He got away with this murder right now. He's still on the loose. Now, what happens in this society if you commit a murder? Hey, Esau gonna hunt you down, man. You could go to Illinois. You could go to damn Arkansas. You could go to Pennsylvania. You could go to Canada. It's gonna be a warrant out for your arrest. Hey, the saints got a warrant out for Esau. You understand? And we're gonna take him down. Right now, he's a fugitive. He's on a run. Right? He's a vagabond in the earth. So for everybody that says that this is not talking about Cain and Esau, then you will be going against the Lord. Because the Lord said that everybody, an eye should be an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Then this would be the only account in the scriptures where man got away with murder. He killed him, and the Lord protected him and preserved him and let him go free. You telling me Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the God of vengeance and war, judgments, you understand, is going to let go a man that killed an innocent man, and there will be no charges brought upon him, and he can die in old age and get away with murder. You got to be a fool, man. The so-called white man, he's a fugitive. He's taking on Canadian. He's taking on Australian. He's taking on what? Portugal. He's taking on damn British. He's taking on what else? Italian. He taking on all of these different variances. British, Italian. He got so many damn cover-up names, man. What else, brother?
Greece.
Greece.
He
Damn
took-
Roman.
He took Mount Seir.
Took Mount Seir, right? The Georgia mountains, Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. You understand? He took on that. Took on Mount Seir. He took on everything. He's everywhere. He's in Greenland. Hey, the brother say he's damn Shalom WFR Chicago in the building. Say he's in South Africa now too, man. This man has no place in Europe. You know, so-called Africans, they got the land mass, you understand, of Africa. Chinese man, he kind of stays for the most part in China. All of these different nations, they stay in their provinces, but this is a man that literally has no resting place, because his resting place is the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, Mount Seir. And it says, Salakia, and when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I could bear. The same thing he did in Genesis the 27th chapter, when he cried and said, you know, my punishment, I need a blessing too. This is the same account over and over, kind of weeping. You know, my punishment is too great. I cannot bear. It says, behold, thou hast driven me out this day from thy face of Salakia, from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And this is going into the revengers of blood in Numbers, the 35th chapter. So the revengers of blood and those commandments have been all the way from old. Literally, these things have already been on the earth. So Cain knew that men were going to be seeking his life to slay him. And they wanted his blood immediately, before he could be brought forth through the judges and councils to have a matter about a counsel about the situation, so he can be convicted guilty. Just like Esau. Esau, he kind of lock you up. He'll beat you in the fifth rib. He'll throw some shackles on you, and then they'll bring you forth to judgment with their judge with the curly locked hair, long black robe. He got the big old hammer, and he knocking it like that, and he give you 100 years. Now Cain is saying, look, they're going to put me to death. All hell going to break loose. What do I do? And the Lord is saying, when we read on, it says, and the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. So why is the Lord protecting Cain for a dispensation of time? Because the avenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. It's not up to anybody in the mountains, anybody in a different coast, anybody in a different province, anybody in a different city, anybody in a different isle. It's up to Abel to come back on the earth to slay his damn murderer, man. Somebody killed you, you have to kill them. That's in the law, man. That's in the book of Genesis, chapter 9 and verse 6. Right, let me get that real fast. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 9 and verse 6. Whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. So literally, that man that got slayed, right? Hey, man, it has to be righteous judgment. That's why the Lord, not on a deeper level, protected him as far as he got away, but set a seal around this man so that his damn murderer, right? He can slay his murderer, that nobody else can take that honor but himself. It says, and the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, and that's going into the leprosy, so that you could visually see this man on the face of this earth, lest any finding him should kill him. And when you go to the book of Numbers, chapter 25, so like in chapter 35, right, this is Numbers chapter 35, right, and verse number 10. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when ye become over Jordan unto the land of Canaan, then shall ye appoint you cities to be cities of refuge, that the slayer may flee thither, which killeth any persons at unaware. And that's exactly what Cain did. He fled. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer die not, until he stand before the congregation in judgment. That's why when you read about in Obadiah, the last verse, there shall saviors come upon the mount and judge Esau. Because we're going to be the ones that judge him for the murder that he committed thousands of years ago, man. He is still not being brought forth to trial. This man is still on the loose. He's still murdering. He's still out there as a vagabond and a murderer. It says, Salakia, and it shall be unto you cities for refuge, that the avengers of the manslayer die not, until he stand before the congregation in judgment. Until, verse 19, jump into verse 19, the revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. So when we finally get the green light from Yahweh Shem Yahushua the righteous, we're going to take on being what? Abel. Because he's literally Jacob and we're his descendants. And we're going to get the green light through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and we're going to slay the murderer, man, from the very beginning and take him down. Let me get Obadiah real fast. Right? So all of this is in the scriptures, man. Don't think damn Cain got away. This is Obadiah, verse 21. And saviors shall come upon Mount Zion. Who are the saviors? The men of the Lord that save the nations. You have all of these men like Elihud, right? All of these men that save the congregation of Jacob all throughout the scriptures, and the men of the Lord in the latter days of the earth. And saviors shall come upon Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau. That's talking about we're going to judge his clothes. You know what? You know, you're too hairy. You're too damn hairy. You start judging them like that. Your hair's too long. By your beards, it's not nappy. I don't like it. No, man, you're judging him from all of his crimes, his murders, his atrocities, all of his wickedness. Aren't the 12 apostles going to sit on 12 thrones to judge us? Who's going to judge Esau, man? The Lord's going to give all these things into our hand, Lord willing, being the elect. We're going to govern cities. We're going to set this earth in order, and we're going to judge these nations and set up order in the latter days of the earth. And the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So he literally has to be set before the judges, right, to be judged when you read the book of Genesis. So he did not get away with murder. So in case, if this man did not come back on earth, I got you, right? If this man did not come back on earth, then this will be the man that got away from the Lord. He escaped judgment. And you will have to say without a reasonable doubt, it can be done. But this man and all of his atrocities is building up. Like it says in the book of Revelation, thy wickedness has reaching, paraphrasing, it has to come for a threshing. Because all of the wickedness has to reach a peak. You got it, King.
This is Revelation chapter 9, and I'm gonna start at verse 17. And it reads, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and the horses, not little horses, represent the missiles. Right? We read Job 39:19. The horse represents your strength, right? Your might. It says, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplate of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, right? Because when a missile launch off, it sounds like a lion. It says, and out of their mouth is like it, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these three was a third part of men killed. I mean, everybody gonna die, you know, in America. Three represent completion. By the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issue out of their mouth, for their power is the power. It's like it. It said, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were not like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. It's like, and it says, here we go, verse 20. And the rest of the men, it's a point, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk, neither repented they of their murders. Like you said, they're not gonna repent for that, man. Going all the way back to Cain, all the way to the Lord come back. Esau had done nothing because his blessing is a sword, right? He was given the Spirit was given a sword in Genesis 4. Then he got the sword again in Genesis 25, and now he's been using the sword all the way to the day of the Lord, and he's still not gonna repent for none of his murders. Even when damn missiles are falling on America, Esau and all his pride is still not gonna repent. It says, neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. They still not gonna repent, man. So this man has to get put to death, like the brother going into. He's worthy of death. Like when you Revelation 16 and the water turned to blood, and the angel said, "For they are worthy, man. They're worthy to be turned into that blood, to have to drink of that blood." And I got another precept.
Bring it out.
Second Maccabees chapter 6. So I could try to find it. Like King, you got it. Gotta find the precept.
Going back to Genesis, the 4th chapter, verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. Right? So why did Cain go to the east of Eden? Because that's what the spiritual demon Satan was. He literally made a covenant with the devil right from the very beginning, and he's the father of lies. And he literally made a deal with the devil in Genesis, the 4th chapter. A lot of people, they read right over that. Why do you go to the east of Eden? I don't know. How do you know? I mean, Jake wouldn't even ask that. Why do you know? They just went on the east of Eden, the presence of the Lord, and Cain dwelt with his. You kind of reading over these things, man. This thing kind of gets super deep, right? It said Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. He went on the east of Eden because that's where those cherubims were flaming from when Adam got put out of the Garden of Eden. When you read Genesis chapter 3 and verse 23, and therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to to till the ground from whence he was taken, talking about Adam, and he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep men from the tree of life. So why would you go somewhere that's keeping you from the tree of life? Why would that be the first place you go after the Lord is done away with you? That's like you saying, you know what? I'm going to be like King Saul. The Lord not dealing with me, I'm going to seek a witch. I still got to be in this thing some kind of way. I still got to know something. I still have to have power. I still have to have a blessing. I still have to have some type of knowledge, you understand? And that's exactly what Cain did. He went to go dwell on the east of Eden by those cherubims that came to and fro to keep men from the tree of life. You think he was down there sitting down there trading secrets to those angels? You think he was sitting down there giving them his damn bananas that he tried to get a Lord and his damn tomatoes, man? He wasn't trying to have a fruit bowl fest. He was sitting up there to get the knowledge how to build cities, how to come into power, how to be protected. These are the things that Satan gives you. Well, brother, you kind of winging it. How do you know that? That's the same thing Satan said to Yahushua, man. I'll give you everything if you bow down to me. And Luke, the 4th chapter, and Matthew, the 4th chapter. So what do you think Satan is saying all over again? These are these same lies, these same doctrines, and this same philosophy from old, man. So the same thing that Satan told Yahushua is the same thing he's telling all these celebrities, these actors, these movie men, right? All of these damn athletes, trying to get them, right, to sow their soul and their spirit, right, to get allegiance and praise him so he can so-called give you pleasure of sin for a season that Moses denounced, right? When you read the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter. You got it, Ken.
All right, this is This is Revelation chapter 13. I'm gonna start at verse 3. And it reads, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Right? So the dragon, the spiritual demon Satan, is giving Esau his power, man. giving him all his strength. Right? Like we're going into Cain is Esau, man. So this thing has been up since old, man. It's nothing like the scripture says, there's nothing new under the sun. So he's still getting his power and his authority, right? His strength, his might. It's also coming from Yahweh and Yahushua, but it's coming from the spiritual demon Satan, man. That's where he get all his wisdom and his knowledge from, man. Right, being like I said, the damn internet and all these different things. It's all witchcraft, man. That he's doing because he's getting this power from Satan, man. You got it, King.
If you were to tell our forefathers back in the day, it's something that's going to be invented where you can see somebody halfway across the earth. You kind of see them, kind of move, right? Kind of make somebody laugh, right? You can talk to somebody face to face. If you got a cop on the telephone, it's gonna be a voice that come out of nowhere and it's gonna be yours. They probably think you was a madman, man. Like the brother said, all of this is witchcraft. How in the world are you seeing me right now? You're in damn Detroit. You're in Alabama. You're in Chicago. The Lord on a deeper level is going to set this up for the word to go out. But Esau has created this to be a platform to wickedness. Right? How do you take a picture of somebody? Somebody explain these things to me. You capturing somebody and now they're in motion. They kind of caught somebody. How do you do that? What do you do to take a picture of somebody? You got it.
Hey, I was gonna say, well, two things. One, hey, our damn great grandparents wouldn't have believed this, man. That's so Esau getting his wisdom quick, man, because our great grandparents wouldn't have believed this. They'd have never our ancestors on a slave plantation would never believe that this would have been a thing, man. Even like I said, pictures. Sometimes if you take a picture, you'll take a picture. If you go back to your photos, you can see like how you moved right before the picture got captured. That's like, how do you do that? How do you go back to how I moved? They kind of got you picking up the glass real.
Yeah, that's witchcraft, man.
Right?
Esau, you could go on Google Maps and see your damn neighbor mowing the grass. See the mailman in mid-stride throwing the damn mail. Right? This is witchcraft, man. So when you go back to Genesis 4, right, and verse 17, and Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch, and he builded a city. So how did Cain go off by himself as one man and build the city? How was this possible? Unless he had help. Now, who's the main person with all orchestration? All of the templates, the blueprints, if you will. Esau, man. He's sitting up there building cities and skyscrapers. And hey, we simple. We dwelt in tents. We sojourned. Do you understand? Wasn't sitting up there damn building skyscrapers and damn drones and helicopters and planes. We sailed in ships, right? We're plain. You understand? This man deals with a lot of witchcraft. So how would he get the understanding other than the spiritual demon Satan to build up a whole city? Roads, you understand, all these cheap things. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. So when you go to Psalms chapter 49, that's the same thing that Esau did. Maryland is named after the so-called white man. America, right? Africa,
Cleveland.
Baltimore, Lord Baltimore. You said what? Cleveland. See that? All of these things are named after the children or the physical man that conquered these lands or had them in dominion, man. And that's exactly what's in the Bible. When you read the book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse number 11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling place to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. That's in the Bible, man. Who does that? Esau does that. Who was the first man to do that? You understand? On the left-hand side, Cain. He literally named this city after his son. And his son goes into gold. God is my gold. God is gold or something like that through his spirit. You understand? Gold is my God. That's literally what his son's name is going into on the left-hand side. And he's responsible to all the murder and witchcraft on the earth. And we brought that account out because that's literally Cain and Abel, right? It's literally Jacob and Esau all over again. The tiller of the ground, right, is literally Esau sitting in the dust, him bringing forth strange sacrifices. He never knew how to keep the covenant, the law, and the commandments from old, right? Abel being a keeper of the sheep. Jacob is the forefather of the sheep. All of these things are all spiritual, and it's all double to that which is in the scriptures. You got anything else on that, King? We could bring out closing precepts. All right. So I'm gonna bring this up. So regeneration is all in the scriptures. You have multiple accounts. You know, for the sake of this lesson, hey, brothers would have went 7 hours, man. We have to close up and literally get on another Q&A call. You know, after we close up here, we're gonna shoot the number and the pen. And if you have sincere questions, you could call in. If the question's not sincere, you just want to go on a rant, you just want to be emotional, you want to debate, this is not the platform for that. Everything is in sincerity and in truth, you understand? And you take away from the other saints that sincerely have questions that want to get built up in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So this is the book, right? Of Revelation 22 and verse 12. And it reads, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. So the Lord's going to give you everything according to the work that you put in. If you've been in a damn grass all day, mowing, right? You're sitting there plucking up all the weeds. You're sitting there in the garage, you're making something, right? You got the wood, screwdriver, right? It's going to be proclaimed the work that you put in, because you're going to see how it looks. It's going to be thrown together all sloppy, or it's going to be manifested and beautiful because you took your time and you put every single brick in slowly to do the work of the Lord, man. So your work is going to be made manifest, whether it be righteous or whether it be slothful and wicked. So every brother continue to pray, fast, be diligent, put your brick in, do the work of the Lord, and magnify his name in the last days. You got it.
John, this is in Ezra chapter 14 and verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order. And so we gotta set our house in order. Right? We're living in the last days. Time is running short. You don't have another 200 years. You know, you're not gonna be here forever. Right? The time is running out, man. Time is running out. Jacob's troubles on the rise. Famines coming to America. Pestilence, diseases, race wars, all hell about to break loose soon. And now we have this grace period in this time right now to help and get our households in order, man. Right? To get the children together, to get our wives, aligned with the scriptures, right? Get our children aligned with those scriptures, examine ourselves, look at ourselves through the spirit, and see what we have to approve on as the leaders of our households, man. So it says, now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people. And we gotta get our nation together. Brothers, we gotta reprove the people, man. We gotta get our nation, we gotta warn the people, we gotta bring out the prophecies, we gotta teach them the commandments, teach them about Yahweh Shah, teach them the gospels, teach them the truth, right? Teach them about faith and the righteous works of our forefathers. This is how we reproving the people. And it says, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. So you gotta set aside all the folly that's on your mind. If you worried about going back to damn school, you worry about getting your master's and your doctorate degree, you worried about women all day. Only thing on your mind is women. You gotta put away. That's weak nature, man. Only thing in your mind is your sister. Only thing on your mind is men. You gotta put that away and focus. We are now in the last days. We should be more focused than ever. That's what, like the Lord said, let your eye be single, man. Right? So in these last days, brothers need to be more, it's not an option. You must be on fire in these last days. What you got to hear?
Khan, that's right. And with that, right, we're gonna close up. We're gonna do a Q&A after for sincere questions only. Right, Brother Raya, call hello, Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Brother Jeremiah.
Shalom.
Shalom.